I want to just show you this from Trump. The great white hope. He told the Zelensky how the cow ate the cabbage. And he brought the cabbage and he laid it out and told it, because this little Zelensky guy, he like used to come into our country like he going to the bank and just get money and go back home, and we don't know what happened to the money, right? But this time, a new sheriff is in town. So I don't know if you missed the Oval Office showdown on Friday. Here's where Trump told Zelensky he's gambling with a World War III. Watch this from the AFP News.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the
cards.
cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people. You're
you-
gambling with World War
What do you
III.
speak
You're
about?
gambling with
What do you
World
speak
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
are you speaking
America
about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President.
Amazing. See, this little Zelensky, how you say his name?
Zelensky.
Zelensky, whatever. He's used to coming over here, getting back some money, and going and speaking to Congress, and the Democrats applaud him, and the right of Republican give him money. He go back home. That's over now. And according to a report, they had already met privately and discussed everything, and that day was supposed to be a signing in agreement to everything. And it sounded like they were surprised from the story I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. They were surprised when that guy looked like he had changed his mind or trying to show off in the American media, like the American people are going to agree with him. And some beta American people do. They'd rather take the side of the enemy than American side. Julie is a first-time caller out of Texas. Julie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Julie.
Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I've only been, listening to you for a few months, and I actually heard about you from InfoWars, and when you were on InfoWars.
Nice.
But but I have two sons, 17 and 19. The 17-year-old lives with my ex-husband, and for like 10 years we've been divorced. I've always blamed him. I am a hateful person, and I've just realized that like 3 months ago over the holidays when my 17-year-old refused to, visit, and because, he's got the spirit of anger for me.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But anyway,
What is it like? What is it like
Mhm.
seeing how evil you are?
It's actually kind of nice.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds
Yeah.
weird.
No, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And it's just been, a real revelation. I listen to you like every day. Even your old, things from 15 years ago.
Right.
I just love listening to, and I'm just coming to terms with the evil inside me.
And did you apologize to your sons yet?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes. And but he's still my 19-year-old lives with me. He is actually high functioning autistic. Very sweet young man who but at the same time I impose my will so much on my children.
Yep.
And I try to control, and I'm just trying to step back from that and go, and also the forgiving my mother. I never realized how much I hate my mother.
Yep. All human beings hate their mothers. Male and females hate their mothers.
And the reason I hate my mother is she's like, she manipulates through sadness.
Yes.
And so therefore it's like I have two sisters and a brother. I could never tell them I hate mom, but I mean, I think we all have that same feeling. Like my older sister is now caring for her. She's going to be 80 this year, and she's very in poor health. And
your mother,
and it's just, I'm so resentful.
Why not put her in an old home?
I know.
No, that was a question.
Well, that's up to my sister. I mean, I live a few hours away.
Oh, okay.
It may come to that. Who knows? My sister might give out before my mom. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to go forgive her, and I'm, scared to do that.
Is she 80?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you afraid of an 80-year-old woman?
Well, I mean, I'm afraid of her for probably, because we talk like once a week. We used to talk all the time, and then I cut it back to once a week, and I just dread talking to her, especially since discovering how much I resent her.
Yeah.
Because I never really even knew that. I'm 56. I mean, and I've spent my whole life just living in this kind of hell. I'm on my third marriage.
What a mess!
That's just yeah. Even though, I mean, he appreciates. We watch you together sometimes. I think I watch you a lot more, but he appreciates your message and that I'm, discovering these. It's made our relationship better.
Right on.
Because he'll come to me with stuff, and I'll say, "That's your decision. I have to,
Right on.
But yeah. But I just wanted to thank you and just I've been meaning to call and say hi.
You're welcome, but you got to go and face your mother.
Yeah.
And
I know.
You're fortunate that she's still alive, so you can shake in your boots and face her. And, hey, mother, I've been resenting you all my life. I realize now you can have to. You don't have to have the exact words, but you can forgive her so you can be free. Because once you face her in fear, shaken in fear, you're going to see that the fear was never real, that it was an illusion, and it has been controlling you all your life, and it was never real. But and you're only afraid of her because you're angry at her. Anyone who has anger has fear. And so you're only afraid of her because of the anger, but the anger will leave, and you will be free, and you'll be fine. But you got to face it.
Hoping. Yeah, I know. That's good. That's got to be, coming very soon. And I just realized, I'm the one. I destroyed my family with my anger.
Yeah.
And I've just wanted to say, oh, it's because my husband, had an affair and left me for this other woman who, by the way, has just as much hell in her as I do.
Absolutely.
We can't even be around. We can't be around each other. So my son, who's 17, has lived with her for the last 6 years. I mean, he's, I'm worried about him, but I know that I can't, all I can do is apologize. I can't try to manipulate him and say, oh, you've got to forgive me, and you also have to forgive your stepmom because of all the, imposing that she's done on you. But that's got to be his journey. I mean, it's taken me my whole life to realize I can think back to 5 years old resenting my mother,
Yes. All human beings, not one all human beings must forgive their mothers. Everyone who was born of the flesh, and we all are, must be born of the spirit. And now that you can see that you resent her, you hate her, you got to forgive her, and God will forgive you. And I don't care what has happened in your life, it'll be done with. It'll be over. And today is a brand new start for you.
Thank you. And one last thing is, you know how you say she's crying, she's lying?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I've stopped crying.
When she's crying, she's lying.
So I really appreciate that. I'll keep listening, Jesse, and I'll call back after I forgive my mom.
Okay. Have you started doing the silent prayer yet?
Yes.
You stay with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I know. I love the silent prayer. I even though the thoughts are there and all of that, then I can I have some quietness in there.
Yes.
And I'm very reluctant to do it, but then once I start doing it, I love it.
I want you to know that that's not you that's reluctant to do it. It's the spirit of the imagination of thoughts that don't want you to do it. And they speak through you. They sound like you. And they try to make you think it's you, because the last thing evil want is for you to be still and give up fighting and let God take over. They don't want you to do that. They'd rather for you to hoop and holler and pray to God and beg and whine and please God. But they don't want you to be still and see and let go. So you stay with it and don't call those thoughts you anymore. They're not you. The emotions are not you. None of it is you. So stop identifying with them.
Yeah. I mean, and it feels like I've been listening to you a lot longer than a few months. I mean, I just very much appreciate you.
You're welcome. And you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, all right?
Okay, Jesse.
And forgive your mother no matter who won't forgive. You forgive her, and God will. Don't ask for forgiveness. You apologize for being angry at her, and God will forgive you.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm going to do it soon.
Okay. Let me know.
Okay, Jesse. Thanks, Jesse.
All right. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
73. John is a first-time caller out of North Carolina. John, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well, John.
Hey, I was wanting to call and tell you I was listening in on I just wanted to let you know, man, I appreciate everything you're talking about, man. I agree with all kinds of stuff you got going on. It's especially like the homeschool stuff.
Yes.
Whenever I didn't know God at all, and was wild, crazy. Anyway, I got married before I even knew God, and it caused problems. But anyway, wound up having kids, and when we started having kids, and my wife was working at the time. Next thing you know, I started reading the Bible a little bit about the woman supposed to be the keeper at the home. And, man, I just straight up told her, I said, you're going to be at home watching the kids, especially with all that division going on, like critical race theory, all this stuff, just divide and all that mess. And, man, I was worried about my kids having a social life. Like, are they going to be? They do just fine.
Yes.
I don't I think it's just a lie of the devil with people worried about their kids going to be, is my kid going to be able to do sports or this? There's all kinds of other sports they can do. We actually there's Christian schools, right? And they let homeschoolers come in and play the sports.
Yeah.
I mean, the doors are open if you just do it. And another lie of the devil is that I went through with that is once you're used to two incomes coming in, the devil will mess with your mind and be like, well, you're going to lose this income. You sure you want your wife to quit? I just shut it all down. I said, no, the Bible says a woman's a homemaker. She's supposed to be at home. That's the way it's going to be.
Yes.
And, man, my bills has been paid every time.
Yep.
And just trusting him. And but one of my thing is I want to know when Jesse Lee Peters is going to run for president.
Amazing. When Donald Trump is done and JD is done, then I'll run.
Are you for real? Because I'm going to vote for you, brother.
No.
I'm telling you, it is. You crack me up. All the people. I like how you're able to flip it on people and be able to use I guess you call it reverse psychology. You know, when you get hit with hard questions, man. I've actually been practicing that. If you'll know the truth. To be honest with you, I've been practicing it. And, man, you make my day. I'll tell you, I ain't even never met you, but I hope to one day.
Right on. John, you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. And it's only going to get better for you. If you stay with it, it cannot get worse. It can only get better.
I appreciate it, man. Like I say, you make my day. I love your show. And I listen to you all the time. I just wanted to give you a little bit of encouragement because I know a lot of people come in there and complain to you.
Well, I appreciate that, John. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir, man. You stay with it, too, and I enjoy it. I'll be listening to it even after we get off the phone.
Right on. Amazing. Thank you, John.
Yes, sir, bro. Have a good day.
You too, buddy. Nice. So we talked a while back about water and how everybody and their mama carry around water everywhere because the commercials and retail people convince the people that you need water all the time. So buy water and carry it with you everywhere, and the people do it because they don't think for themselves. And they carry bottles of water around. And then at one time, they were carrying the water around in bottles. And then the plastic people like, we can't make any money. You need to carry your water around in plastic. And everybody started carrying the water around in plastic. And I said out loud, why do you need water all day, every day, right? All day, at least. Your body will let you know when you need water. Well, nobody like, no, you need water all the time. Your body built the water, you need water all the time. But your body let you know when you need water, and they didn't believe it. And now my PR guy has discovered that I was right after all. And this is Omeed, my PR guy.
You're expert. You're biology expert today.
What did you discover about water?
So one of these gurus, one of these health gurus and longevity gurus is talking about, he's also a bio researcher, and he's talking about how one of the main causes to migraines apparently is a mineral imbalance in basically you absorb salts and things by osmosis. So if you have too much water and not enough minerals, you ended up absorbing that mineral and then flushing it and peeing it out.
Yeah.
So if you're not drinking enough minerals and salts and just chugging water all day long, you're basically creating your own migraine headaches by flushing your body of the stuff it needs.
Amazing. And they said women get migraine headaches a lot. Did you tell me something like that?
Well, I just told you that thinking anecdotally to everyone I know who thinks they're so healthy and is always chugging water.
Yeah.
They're the same people who are complaining about migraines all day long.
Amazing. And it doesn't, look like common sense would tell a human being, well, you don't need water all day. You don't need to haul around water. But for some reason, it doesn't tell them that.
No. We've been brainwashed by this drink 8 glasses of water a day thing. They've been telling us that for years, and nobody knows where this 8 came from. It's just a thing that they say.
And so did you carry water around at one time? Or are you still doing that?
I bring my own water just because I don't trust anybody to give me water. Right. But it's more about the purity of the water. I don't need to chug it all day long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's crazy how people carry around bottles and bottles of water in the car, at the gym. Everywhere they go, they got water and gugging it out all day. I'm like, your body don't need that much water.
It's also there's this fashion thing too. The best Christmas present was this big jug from some particular company, and they came in 100 different colors. So all the ladies wanted that special jug. A clear plastic thing is not enough for the ego. They have to beautify it. And then I have a friend who does that, and he buy these expensive things for water. He's like, look at this. I'm like, what? It's expensive for water. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
What a mess.
What a mess.
It's crazy how commercials can convince all of us, if we're not paying attention, to do whatever they want you to do. They can make you dress the way they want you to dress. They make you buy water. They make you eat what they want you to eat. They make you take medication that you don't need or the ones they want you to take. And the people just blindly go for it.
Yeah. Well, the next joke is that first they tell you to drink more water than you need, and now all these health experts want to sell you electrolytes and minerals and salts, special ones.
Amazing.
When you could just live normally and have a normal diet and you'd be fine.
God made it so we can know what our body needs, when it needs it, when it wants. It tells us when we're hungry. It tells us when we're thirsty. It tells us when we're tired. It tells us when to go to sleep and when to wake up. It tells us everything.
Yep.
It used to until the people stopped listening to them. So Joel Pride just say, CAPPP. What does that mean?
Cap. He's saying we're
cap.
lying.
Huh?
Joel's a water chugger.
He's saying cap, meaning he does not believe such talk.
He doesn't believe it.
He's a water chugger.
He said it called hydration, Jesse. But the body lets you know when you need water, so you're not hydrated. What? And let you know how much. And then my producer, Derrick, he carries around a big jug of water. It's amazing the game that the world play on the people.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I shouldn't buy?
Big cap. What?
Yeah, that means you're a big lie. That's what Joel's saying.
Oh.
But you're telling me, so you guys are telling me I don't need to buy one of these?
That's the one you need where you can keep your
What?
popcorn. That's that gift that all the ladies wanted this Christmas.
What is that?
It's like a Stanley cup. You could put your liquid in there, water or more, and then look, it has this attachment where I could put snacks.
You can put
That's
water
like a
in
bowl. Yeah, it's like a bowl attachment that lets
It's a
me
big
put.
thermos. It's like a big jug,
That? Oh, it's,
but it has all these.
and so
fancy
people
things.
eat and drink while they're driving?
And they take these on their walk. When they need to go on the walk, they prepare. They make little videos.
So you say popcorn and stuff when you're walking too?
Yeah. Well, these.
Well, why not just stay home and eat?
There you go. Most people do now.
What a mess.
What a mess.
Hate said, but whosoever drinks of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him as well as a well of water, springing up into everlasting life. John 4:14. That's Jesus. Hate is giving us the word.
Thank you, Hake. So,
So
if we believed in Jesus, we wouldn't have to drink any water, according to Hake.
Oh, so your body told you it's good to have soda pop with peanut in it. Yes. My body said, hey, you want some strawberry pop with peanuts. Absolutely. Well, the devil may have told me that. Amazing. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
What a mess, huh?
Oh, yeah. All day long.
Lord have mercy. I have a quick question for my experts now. I didn't know I was going to ask them about this, but I want to know what they think about this. And then I get to all of your calls. I need my experts on this. And Nick, I want to go to soundbite 3-2A. This is from Fox 2 in Detroit. What's her name? Tatiana Williams, 29, said she asked for help for months as she struggled with housing for her family before 2 of her children died from apparent hypothermia during a freezing night in Detroit. Watch this first soundbite from Fox 2 Detroit.
Everybody who know me know I worship the ground them kids walked on.
The 29-year-old mother of the 2 kids that likely froze to death Monday in the parking structure of the Hollywood casino.
Maybe I asked the wrong people for help. But that was the only thing I did wrong.
Tatiana, remembering how many times she reached out for a place to live, she asked the father of the 2 kids that died.
He had an excuse every time. Either he's working, they can't come where he living. He lived with a female and the parents and them don't want kids there or something.
She also asked the city of Detroit for help.
I reached out in November. I reached out before that. I've been on the CAM list for a long time. And every time I called and asked if they have a bed, they said they don't have family beds.
So the 7 of them had been sleeping in their 2002 Town and Country van since November. But the kids had everything else.
They ate every day, all day. Goodies, food. They didn't want for nothing. Every day they went to school. I had one mistake.
But, and the woman's mother was in the car while the children died. Watch this.
And the kid's grandmother, 49-year-old Yvette Goodman, was also in the van that day. Did the van run out of gas?
I have no idea what happened. I have no idea.
Did you fall asleep?
Yes.
And then when you woke?
Only night I fell asleep. I usually be woke.
And when you woke up, what happened?
My grandson wasn't moving.
A GoFundMe account has been set up to help the family.
That's one of the reasons we did set the GoFundMe up, so she will be able to have housing for herself and the children, her other remaining children.
We'll put a link to the GoFundMe account on our website, fox2detroit.com.
That's all I wanted to do was sleep somewhere safe.
In Detroit, Charlie Langton, Fox 2 News.
And then from WDIV, the mother claimed her kids could never freeze, could have never frozen to death. Watch this.
The Detroit mother, who was living in a van when 2 of her 4 kids died from possible cold exposure, has now been given a new home. Tatiana Williams was given the house thanks to the city of Detroit and Detroit Rescue Mission Ministries. The home comes freshly painted with new furniture and appliances. The family will get to stay in the house for up to a year. And officials with the Detroit Rescue Mission say it will do regular check-ins and also help Williams create a long-term housing plan.
And last but not least, the city of Detroit and Detroit Rescue Mission Ministry did we play the wrong one?
Yeah.
You played the wrong one, Nick.
I played.
The first one was the woman claimed her kid could never frozen to death. 2D and then
I played 2.
Yeah, that was 2C you played. I want 2D.
Okay, here's 2D.
Tonight I sat down with that mother. She is 29-year-old Tatiana Williams. She told me she and her 4 children had been living in their van for the past 3 months.
They said it was carbon monoxide. Oh, I don't know what it is. There's so many stories going around. I haven't even got the right story for my own kids. But one thing I do know is they could never be cold in that car. Because I keep gas in that car. I do what I got to do to keep them kids with heat. So it's not hypothermia. My kids could have never froze to death. But I called everybody. I called out of state. I called different cities. I called Detroit. I got on a CAM list. I've been on a CAM list for a long time. Nobody. Every time I call, they say it's no shelter, no bed. I thought I was doing the right thing. I tried to keep them warm at night. That's it. I was just trying to keep them warm. Nobody helped me. It took me to lose 2 of my kids to get this help. I don't feel good about it.
Amazing. And then there's other things where the mission, City of Detroit, the City of Detroit and Detroit Rescue Mission Ministry gave this woman a new home. Watch this.
The Detroit mother, who was living in a van when 2 of her 4 kids died from possible cold exposure, has now been given a new home. Tatiana Williams was given the house thanks to the city of Detroit and Detroit Rescue Mission Ministries. The home comes freshly painted with new furniture and appliances. The family will get to stay in the house for up to a year. And officials with the Detroit Rescue Mission say it will do regular check-ins and also help Williams create a long-term housing plan.
So my experts are here. Over yonder is the anchor baby behind the board there. And then over here is Joel Friday of Joel Friday TV, the American Anchor Baby of the American Anchor Baby show at 12, Joel Friday TV at 11. And over there is the Hake of the HakeReport.com. All experts on the show. So I'll start with you today, Hake, because I started with Anchor Baby last. You say about this situation.
I was tired of hearing her cry the first clip, and then we had to hear 3 clips of her crying.
Wow, so insensitive.
But that's crazy.
Water.
You know how people who get injured or people who bad things happen to them, you can see why it happened, because it sounds like she's just kind of an irresponsible person, and everybody around her, including probably the city and her children's father, sound like they're pretty irresponsible. And so, of course, it's not that surprising that this would happen. It's crazy, but it's not that surprising.
Oh, man.
And I don't know why they still didn't really find out what killed the kids, whether it was the cold or the carbon monoxide or what, according to this report.
Yeah. And you say?
I think that it was a huge mistake for the city to give them a little house, because this was an opportunity for the mother to realize she needed to get her stuff together. And instead of that, she continued to cry victim. They gave her a house, and now it's going to continue. Right. Unfortunately, hopefully nobody else has to die, but you never know what that's just what this stuff is. You don't take responsibility, you don't take accountability for your life, and you ask for handouts and you play the victim card. This stuff happens for you to turn around and change your life.
When I come back, the Anchor Baby gonna put his little 2 cents in it, and I will get to your calls and super chat. The treasure chest is now open on G-Live. Nick, what did you think about the woman that, according to a report, her child died in the car? She'd been living in the car, and now the government has given her a home.
No, it's a terrible situation. You look at this, and all top to bottom, it's crazy, but nobody, it's like we're just watching a crazy scene, but nobody wants to say. It's so clear that they're living out in a car, it's cold, exposed. It's obvious what happened, It's like, it's obvious, but we're going to be like, oh, it's right. She's right. She was asking for help, but she never got it. That's what that's what the people are going to say, totally ignoring exactly what we know happened. It's like no love. Totally insane.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't think that she intentionally I don't necessarily know if it's cold, because she said that the kids have food and all that stuff, and she was feeding them, and there was gas in the car.
It takes one night.
So, but maybe they're, you know how you're not supposed to sleep with the AC on or something, or because that can mess you up.
Right.
So it could be obviously she intentionally.
It was cold, so there could be the heater.
Right, or the heater or whatever. But the point is that she was out in the streets asking for assistance, government assistance. And for whatever reason why she didn't want to get her life together, that is what it is. But then now they come in, and now this happens, and now she's saying, well, I tried to ask for help, and and now they give her help, and then she's happy to take the help. But that should not be the solution.
Yeah.
Even in her mind, she shouldn't be believing that that's the solution.
Amazing. And hey, last word.
That is crazy. Like, to what you guys were saying, she said, it took this happening to my kids for them to help me. What a mess.
It should take that for you to help yourself. That's it.
When she's crying, she's lying.
When she's crying, she's lying. Excuse me. And she was, so I guess the city of Detroit and Detroit Rescue Mission gave her this, according to the report, home, right?
For a year.
So my question is she doesn't have any other family member that would let her come and stay with them until she get on her feet? No, where was her mama staying?
Her mama was staying in the car with her.
Well, her mama just saw like one time.
She did it multiple times because she said, usually I don't sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So how come her mama ain't got no apartment? And secondly, nobody is responsible for this woman but this woman. This city, what has happened to people now is they know now that the government going to get them free houses, free everything. And that's why they do this, because they know that the government going to do it. And then when the government give them these free houses and stuff, they destroy those houses.
And she has 7 kids.
Yeah.
She has so
Where
many
are
kids.
those men that with the baby?
And that house was chirping already. The smoke detector was going off in a freshly painted house.
Oh, what?
Did you hear it?
I didn't hear that.
Oh, my gosh. It was play clip D again. Well, maybe you don't have to go through that woman crying again. But I heard it chirping. I'm sure the chat did, too.
When she crying, she lying. But this is horrible. I know the city and the government and the rescue mission are wrong for doing this, but I blame the people. But because these people do it for the money, they give these stuff away for the money. It ain't free, and then they're making money because they raise a lot of money. But this woman, they're hurting this woman by giving her a house. They're not helping her at all. She's gonna continue to do whatever she's doing to get those babies and all that kind of stuff, because she knows she can get it free now.
Mm-hmm.
Phony feel-good mess.
Yeah, what a mess.
That's Detroit for you.
Our mayor, well, not my mayor, but she's my mayor by the fact I'm in California, Los Angeles. She's the same way. Making houses, room for the homeless. We are making houses for the... That's not love, that's hate. They're not helping, they're destroying. And that's what happened to the blacks. They've been catering to the blacks forever, and now the blacks can hardly stand up on their own 2 feet. What a mess. You say about water, now that you know.
Water is essential. You need water.
Exactly.
So you should be carrying around bottles.
Yes.
If you're in the desert.
But you're not in the desert.
California is a desert.
Oh, yeah, right. And you say about water. Now
Gotta have
know.
water. Gotta have water. Now, you shouldn't overdrink it, yeah, but I mean, how bad is drinking too much water?
And then you say about water. Now
I drink
you
when I'm
know.
thirsty.
You're hurting yourself more than helping. Ain't that much thirsty in the world. You walk around every minute, you're thirsty. Amazing. Nice shirt, Joel.
Nice.
Amazing shirt.
In my same skin tone? No, it's a little bit lighter than the skin. Nice.
Yeah, but it's a really nice shirt. It's from the old school.
Yeah.
With boys were boys and men were men. Omeed, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Let me go to, so I've been saying for a long time, that you should take your children out of the public school system, and that parents who send their children to the public school today do not love their children. They hate their children. And then when they send them to the schools knowing that the kids are not being educated, they blame it on the teachers. They blame it on everyone but themselves. How can you blame the school that they're not educating your children when you know they're not educating them, but you don't love them enough to stay home? The mother, the female doesn't love the children enough to stay home and watch over them and teach them and guide them, because their ego want to be out working and thinking that they're being rewarded for that and let the kids suffer. So you really can't blame. You can't blame the school, because if you didn't send the children to the school would either have to change or go out of business. but you send them anyway. And so they don't have a reason to change. According to the, and then there are some parents say, oh, I can't teach them. Yes, you can. If you can't do it, there are other homeschool programs in the neighborhood or around you somewhere that you can send your children if you don't feel like being bothered with them. There's a way out. There's always a way out. You're not stuck in any area of life unless you want to be stuck. You're a victim and you want to be stuck in that area. You're not stuck in life. You can overcome anything if you work on you. You got to work on you. There is according to WTNH News 8, this report is from them, a Hartford public school graduate is taking legal action against the city, the Board of Education, and one of her special educational teachers. Alicia Ortiz claims she asked for educational resources and support for years, but that help never came. Watch this from WTNH News 8.
My name is Alicia Ortiz, ALEYSHAORT.
Struggling to spell her own name, 19-year-old Alicia Ortiz tells us the school district she entrusted with her education failed her, graduating last year unable to read or write.
My time in Harvard Public School was a time that I don't wish upon anyone.
Ortiz moved from Puerto Rico to Connecticut, becoming a Hartford Public School student in the first grade. She struggled with a speech impediment, dyslexia, ADHD, and initially a language barrier.
Every first day of school, I would tell the teacher, hey, I cannot read and write, so please be patient with me, so everyone knew.
For years, she asked for educational resources and support, but instead, she says she was bullied, harassed, and neglected by district employees.
I cried knowing that the people who has big titles know that this is happening, and no one has stepped up to do something about it.
Amazing. Is she illegal? What the? Send her back to Puerto Rico. But anyway, here is more, and I want to know, what? And I want to know, do you blame the school or the parents? If she has all these physical ailments too that they call rambling off there, didn't the parents know she had these issues? And if the parents knew it, why would they send this girl to the school? And why would they not get involved with the school to make sure they get taught if they got to send them to the school? Here's more on the lawsuit from Ortiz. Watch this.
Ortiz has now filed a lawsuit against the city, Board of Education, and one of her special education teachers, claiming her learning disabilities were not properly addressed by the board, and as a result, she continued to struggle academically. This specific complaint names Tilda Santiago, a special education case manager and teacher, who would allegedly yell at, belittle, ridicule, and humiliate Ortiz, adding Ortiz would frequently run to other teachers and/or administrators in tears and emotional distress. We reached out to Santiago for a comment. She directed our request to the Board of Education staff attorney. We're waiting to hear back.
Amazing. This is hell on earth. Amazing. How come so many children have all these learning disabilities today as opposed to years ago when boys were boys and men were men, and the men were running the schools for the most part? Where did all these learning inabilities come from all of a sudden? I'm just wondering out loud. This girl was, She was accepted into UConn. What's UConn? What? That's the name of the school? University of Connecticut, and want to focus on special education policy. How's she going to focus on special education policy if she got a special ed person? What the? Watch this.
Ortiz used talk-to-text and other technology to get her grades up, walking the stage at graduation. A moment filled with mixed emotions.
It's the treatment that she had to go through at the hands of several of the people who were the adults in the room who were supposed to be helping her.
We reached out to the city and Board of Education, who tell News 8 they can't comment on ongoing litigation. The superintendent's office also declined to comment. Ortiz wants to see change happen so that no other student will have to experience what she did.
Education is so important, and I believe we have forgotten the meaning of it.
Again, we did reach out to the school district for a comment. As for that lawsuit, they're seeking an undisclosed amount in damages. Many have rallied around Ortiz, getting her the support that she needs. She was accepted into UConn and wants to focus on special education policy and advocacy. Eva Zamaris, News 8.
Amazing. It's interesting in that in all of this reporting on this situation, the parents were not mentioned. They were not mentioned. There was nothing on, well, let's ask the parents, why didn't they take her out of the school all those years if they knew she was not being educated? They had to know if they paid any attention to her when she came home from school, right? I asked the parents, why did they check on the school and ask, why did you educate my daughter? But they didn't mention the parents. It's all on the school. Turn your life over to someone else. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. I never imagined that one day in America, really, growing up, it just never occurred to me. You didn't think that this was possible, that most Americans would accept the white people. But maybe they become a victim now because they've been so attacked and all that. But I never imagined in America, everybody, and their mama, if you're black, and everybody, their mama would be a victim. Nobody have strength to endure. Where's the endurance that we used to have in America? Think about the white men who founded and created the greatest country in the world. They had to endure. And they had it way bad worse than what we have it today. Why not just send her back to Puerto Rico and let them educate her over there? That's her country. We don't owe her an education. Send all the illegals back to their country and let their country take care of them. Let them sue their own country. I'm just saying out loud. Brandi out of Hawaii. Brandi, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm calling you guys. I'm calling you. Sorry, I'm all of a sudden nervous. I'm calling about that girl that has dyslexia.
The one that's suing, according to the report, is suing the school?
Yeah.
Okay. Alicia Ortiz.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic, and I had
How
a
you
lot
know?
of learning problems. Well, I get numbers backwards and letters backwards, and like I work Costco food court, and I catch myself all the time,
So
getting numbers when I give them the amount. I'll say it backwards sometimes, and I'll be like, "Oh no, the other way around."
Really?
So I catch
and
myself.
So let's do
yeah.
a test. Which come first, 1 or 2?
Well, 1.
Which
But-
comes second, 2 or 3?
2.
Well, you ain't got no problem.
Well, I'm paying attention,
What?
and yeah, I sometimes
And
and
so
I
which
see
comes
it when
first?
I'm looking at it.
Which comes first, C or D?
See,
So you ain't got no problem.
no, I've been working on myself my whole life, though. Also,
So you're paying attention.
yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I mean, I fail sometimes, but I had a really hard childhood. But I was also raised by sorry, I'm about to cry.
When she crying, what's she doing when she's crying?
She's usually lying, but my mom was really an evil woman. And I would come home and tell her I had problems and I couldn't understand. And she would just yell at me. Like, she was so impatient with me. She would, like, yell at me. So it's like the parents know and the teachers know the problems. So the parents are lazy. At least mine was. She didn't care. And when I would come home with homework and ask her I needed help when she'd get home from work, and she would yell at me. And God damn it, Brandy, I just walked in the fucking door.
Hey,
Sorry, but
kids are listening. What the? No wonder your mama didn't like you.
that was what she would say to me.
You
So I'd
cursing
go to
like
my
a
room.
sailor. But why are you crying about that now? And you were supposed to have forgiven your mother for that.
Because I guess maybe I'm still, like, working on overcoming it.
You can't work on overcoming it. When you forgive, you've overcome that. Period.
Yeah, it's just I guess the memory. I still have a hard time. I'm a way better reader, and I bought houses and owned my own business and could barely read.
So what are you
But-
complaining about then?
I've done really, really well.
So what are you complaining about then?
It's the school. I think that the schools are just not equipped to work with people like us.
But
they're not teaching where we get bored easy. We have to keep going. We
but
have to find something you like.
Brandon, why are you calling yourself dyslexic? Because you graduated high school, you're doing well in your life. You're doing just fine. Why would you call yourself dyslexic or whatever you said?
Why? I never really call myself that.
Right.
I just catch it. But I think I had more than just dyslexia.
You want to be that way or what? You want to think that way?
No, I don't. I'm
Then
working
stop
on
thinking
overcoming
that
it.
way. Stop thinking that way. You're living your life. You
And
have a family. You have your own home. You have everything. You got a car. You have everything going on. Why to compare yourself to somebody else who you think was smart?
Well, I would say that I probably used to do it a lot more. It's just the memory of it. But I don't think of myself, like, I don't think downly of myself. I'm really, really good at a lot of stuff.
So
I'm
stop
actually
calling
really,
yourself.
really smart.
So stop calling yourself autistic. Yesterday you wanted to call yourself that.
I know.
So-
It's just it's like the traits. That's what they call it. It's
Wow.
the traits that these people have, I have. It's neurodivergent, or
No.
yeah, that's what they call it.
Stop it.
I'm just saying that's what they call it.
Stop listening to the
That's
world.
what the professionals call it.
Stop listening to the professor. They're dumb. They have no idea what they're talking about.
I agree with you.
Then stop calling yourself that then.
Because I'm proving it all the time. I'm proving it with my learning
Brandon,
problems. I'm proving
Brandon.
it to the doctors.
Brandon, stop trying to prove it and stop calling yourself that and just live your life.
Right. I do, Jesse. And
When
you
is-
honestly have changed my life. I was so bad until I met you.
Well, then stop calling yourself dyslexic. There's no such thing as dyslexic.
Yeah.
Dyslexic
It's just the way that some people are, and that they just need to learn differently.
No,
There's
they
nothing
need to
wrong
leave
with
them
us.
alone and let them learn the way they learn, and don't try to make them learn the way somebody else learn, because you have these so-called smart people, And then the people who are supposed to be not so smart comparing themselves to the smart people who are dumb people.
Right. And you know what they do with these kids? They put them in special ed. I was in special ed classes from, I think it was the second grade because I was falling asleep in social studies. So they caught on every day. I was falling asleep in class. I was so bored.
They
So
didn't
put me in
have special ed in my school. Everybody
they did,
was in the
and
same
I was
class.
born in 83.
Did they have it at your school? Special ed.
Oh, yeah.
Were you in the special ed class?
You kidding me? I was extremely special, but smart type of special.
I can find it. I can test you.
Okay.
They had RSV too.
Did you
or
take
something like that.
Did you take the short yellow bus or the long yellow bus?
I usually got a ride to school.
Because you were dyslexic.
Because I was spoiled. Some of my friends walked. Very few took the bus.
Really? Uppity
We
white,
lived in the suburbs.
uppity white people.
Oh, yeah.
That's because the school was right by your house.
Sometimes my best friend his mother was a teacher, and so she would pick us up.
Wow, see there? White people be doing favors for each other.
Big time.
So, Brandon, stop calling yourself anything and enjoy your life.
Okay, I will.
That makes sense?
But I agree with the school. I mean, with what you're saying about the school. And I do think that these kids, they are, especially anything like this, that they should be homeschooled. And actually, nowadays, they have what's called ABA. I have my son because I'm homeschooling him.
Yeah.
And he got approved for 20 hours a week. So there will be somebody that will come into the house 4 hours every day and work one-on-one with him and just follow him around and explain everything to him and like go at his space, or I can't even say the right word, but like they work with him. They meet him at they'll meet him where he's at.
Right on.
And
how old is he?
He's 6.5.
Right on. I'm glad you're homeschooling him.
Yeah, I think it's, and then watching him and looking at myself and
But how you going to homeschool him and you're dyslexic?
Well, I'm actually really, really smart.
So either you're dumb or you're not.
I'm a smart dumb.
Thank you, Brandon. Call me again.
All right.
First time caller, Omar out of Arizona. Omar, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Omar.
Jesse, how are you?
All is well, Omar. Thanks for calling. You're on the air.
How's it going? I just want to talk a little bit about that dyslexia. I was told I am dyslexic at one point as well.
Who told you that?
So growing up, my mom, I had a hard time learning how to read. I was 5 years older than my sister, and my sister learned to read well before myself. And they would say, the boy's never going to read. They gave me eyeglasses, thought it was my eyes. They did everything. And one old lady in the community said, she was a principal, she said, leave the boy alone, he'll learn.
Yes.
But then I grew up, when I started my business, I meet a lot of people. So I'm an entrepreneur, employ folks as well. Full disclosure, I am an immigrant, but I came here the right way. And I started a business, joined the military, started a business, hiring folks right now. And a friend of mine who's she does some therapy with dyslexic folks. She gave me a book to read. I was reading the book. And everyone, she says, I wasn't diagnosed, but say, you look like you may have dyslexia. The book says I have dyslexia. And I can say this about dyslexia. Even though they say I may have dyslexia, I can say this. It is what you put on yourself. Because people say I have dyslexia. Sometimes just like that lady that just came on the phone, we see the back of the word before we see the front of the word. So if you're walking up to me, I see your foot before I see your face. Or if I'm reading, I see the back of the word. For example.
And so do you see the foot so you see the face because you're looking down?
No, you're not looking down, but you see the word kind of backwards, in a sense. So
I don't understand. I'm black and slow, so I apologize.
Hey, I'm slower than you, I promise you that.
So, if you saw the word home, H-O-M-E, you would see the E before you see the H?
Yes, you would see hemo.
And how is that? Why is that?
No clue, Jesse. I was never diagnosed. I have no clue. But over the years, what I've learned to do is, and this is one of the reasons, even though I have gone to college and I have degrees, they don't teach how I learn. So with us, we have to learn more verbally than anything else. So the words trip us up, but numbers don't trip us up. And so I don't know what it is, but I also want to share on that.
Right.
It doesn't stop you from doing it. That one young girl that was saying that she didn't go to school and she couldn't read, that's her parents' fault. Right?
Yes,
I
agree.
learned how to read. And I write articles now. Right? Like
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So you went to college and all that. When they told you as a young person that you had dyslexia, did you believe it?
No, I didn't believe none of what they say. I just say, okay, I'm just a little bit slower than the other guys. I was in the second last class in the 7th grade, and I came second last. Right?
Nice.
So I didn't have a problem with that. I still struggle with looking at the words sometimes, but that's not who I am. I just say, hey, I can find other ways to deal with whatever I'm having here, just that I look at things differently. I'm not as smart as my sister who has a PhD in chemistry, but I still run a business and employ people, right?
But then you may be smarter than your sister. You are smart enough to start your own business, and she had to go to school. You know what I mean?
Yep. The other thing I want to talk about is how you've helped me. I've been listening to you for about a year and a half now, Jesse, and I promise you, I have struggled with anxiety for years. I am now 41, and I've been dealing with this since I was in my teenage years. I had a breakthrough when I was 19, and I started learning jealousy, all that stuff. I got rid of jealousy. And over the years, I've worked on myself. I've done the silent prayer before I even heard of silent prayer. I call it being present, presence of mind. You're opening the door, you're tying your shoes, you don't think about where you're going, you think about where you are. So I've been doing that ever since. And I've been working on myself. When I was 35, I had a breakthrough. My problem was my mother when she left my dad. And she would talk to me all the time, your daddy did, my daddy's dead. And if I bring up his name, and I say, oh, my dad he did this for me, and I really appreciate that when he did that. She would immediately talk about a moment when he treated her bad. I'm like, why you have to go there? I'm talking about me and him. Why you have to? So she was turning me away from him. And when I started listening to you, even though I was improving myself, even though I was getting better, I was not having as much anxiety. My business was becoming better, and I was writing down these in my notes. I realized there was something missing, and it's forgiveness. And Jesse, I promise you, when I went to her and forgave her, everything changed.
Yeah.
I don't have anger. I don't have any kind of addiction, none of that stuff. All my fear, I'm doing business and it's not going well. I just go to bed and sleep, wake up the next morning, and it works itself out.
Yes.
And the silent prayer every morning, every night since I first started listening to you last in 2023, September, never missed. I tell you, if I'm going through the day and something's happening, I can just kick back. I'm in a meeting where people are getting rowdy, and in that moment, the clients are getting upset and they're carrying on. I just sit back and I'm listening to them, but I'm doing the silent prayer, and all of their anger just fade away.
Yes,
it's so beautiful. So the one thing that really got me to really come out of it was forgiveness. And if you think you can do this without forgiving, you're dead wrong.
Right.
You have to go and forgive. And if you don't forgive, you're going to keep falling back in the same trap. So that's all I'm saying, Jesse. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate what you've done here. And, big shout out to the Great White Hope because, we're supporting him.
Great White Hope. But, you make a good, I talk to a lot of people in counseling and all kind of stuff. And I think that it blows my mind that the one thing amongst others, that God tells us we must do, if we want to be forgiven, we must forgive. And,
That's right.
And it's so misunderstood that I don't even understand it. Because the one thing and the only thing that's going to make you free, well, God makes you free, of course, is that you got to admit that you had this anger and you must forgive by admitting you're wrong for being angry. The one thing that makes people free is the one thing that most people don't want to do or will not do.
No. And Jesse, there's one last thing before I go. I used to have problems with females. That was my Achilles heel. Women, when they come in my life, they nice to you, they make you feel good, and make you feel wonderful, and then they leave, and then you feel torn apart.
Yeah.
And since I've gotten the silent prayer, since I've gone and forgive, since I overcame that nature, I was always a strong man, always like my father, very strong, but that nature of the mother is still in there. Once I got rid of that, you date a female and she come one day and she says, "Oh, I'm leaving." Jesse, I promise you, we had big plans. She came and she just came, "I'm leaving." And I just said, "Okay, bye." I felt nothing about it.
Right on.
I didn't hate her. I had pure love for her. And if I see her tomorrow, I'll be like, "Hey, I still love you." Pure love, real love, not this emotional nonsense.
Right on, man.
You know?
Amazing. Well, you stay with it, Omar. Stay with it. Stay with it. It only gets better.
I will.
That's amazing. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, Jesse. Have a great day.
You too. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. You got to drop the anger, folks. And don't let any Christian or anyone tell you that, oh, Jesus was angry. That's your enemy that's telling you that. That the person that tell you that Jesus was angry and anger is good, anger is needed, you're talking to your enemy. You're talking to your enemy. You're talking to someone who's in prison in their own minds and hearts. And they want you to stay there too. I don't care who it is. Thank you. Let me go to first time caller, EDWIN, out of Chicago.
What's up, Jesse?
Hey, EDWIN.
Hey, I want to know, man, if your parents have passed, what's the best way to forgive them?
Just realize, just as you can't help yourself, you're being controlled by anger. You don't want to be that way. They couldn't help themselves. The same spirit that's in you was in them, and they passed it on to you. And then seeing that you can't help yourself will cause you to naturally forgive them. They could not help
say that
them.
one more time, man?
You see how you can't help yourself? You're being controlled by anger?
Yes.
They had the same problem. They couldn't help themselves. They were being controlled by anger that was passed down to them from their mothers.
I understand that, but how do I forgive them? They gone already.
Just by realizing that they could not help themselves.
Oh, okay. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Okay. All right, thanks a lot, Jesse, man. Appreciate you, bro.
You're welcome. You stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, all right?
Yeah, man.
Amazing. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay. Amazing. I bet most of you have not heard about this. Maybe some of you have, but because it's black on black, you're not going to hear about it. And if you do, it's going to be a few words or less. This is from Fox 5 Atlanta. The matter of fact, I forgot that to mention to you that black guy that was thrown out of Trump speech last night. They said, "Out of here, you're fired. Get out of here." The guy Al Green, according to Wikipedia, he's 77 years old. He was born in New Orleans, but he is a rep from Texas since 2005, according to Wikipedia. So go back to the hoods of Texas and sit down and shut up. What the? Fox 5 Atlanta reported that Black Atlanta police blamed the death of 2 Atlanta boys last summer on 7 men. They are members of the violent GoodFellas gang. Watch this from Fox 5.
Yeah, Courtney, good evening to you. Investigators say 2 13-year-olds were innocent victims caught in a gang retaliation shooting while celebrating a birthday.
The overall theme of this case is grown men playing gangster.
Atlanta police say these are the innocent faces of gang violence in Atlanta. 2 of them, 13-year-old boys Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman, were killed. And 11-year-old Dontavius Davis was wounded last July in a shooting on Spark Street. APD says Freeman was killed on his 13th birthday.
Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes. Before gang violence ultimately took his life.
During an afternoon news conference, investigators blamed the deadly shooting on a local rapper. They said the attack was in retaliation for the rapper entering a rival gang's territory to film a music video.
In the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions, and you know who you are.
Good fellows, not gold fellows. Isn't that something? This black Al Green guy that was thrown out of the speech last night, how come they don't care about this type of stuff in the black community or with black people? And black people, why do you keep voting the same old people in? What's wrong with you? And this guy is angry at Trump because Trump is trying to make America safe again. And this Al Green guy displayed that that's not what he wants. And you vote him in and day out. Why? Why? Really, think about that. Why don't you take control of your own life as an individual? And if you have to get married, have children, raise your own children. Why do you need someone like Al Green or any of those hateful black women, black females or males to tell you who to vote for, who not to vote for? Just think about that. Why do you need a physical leader? They don't care about you. I remember, and I mentioned this before, when I was growing up in Alabama, Atlanta was like 2 hours away, I believe, from where I lived. And 2 hours. And we would go there for the summer sometimes. And I literally thought that I was going to move to Atlanta once I finished high school because it was so beautiful. It was just an amazing place to look like, to live. And you know why? Because it was controlled by whites at the time. White mayor, white everybody. And Atlanta was safe, it was beautiful, it was amazing. And then something happened. And the white people allowed the blacks to take over, and it's been a hellhole ever since. And if you want any peace in Atlanta, you got to move outside of Atlanta there, in the suburb area. And even some of those areas, the blacks have started to go there and create a mess. It's the same way they do in South Africa. They go out to the farmland. They chase the whites wherever they go, and they rob, and they steal, and they kill. That's what happened to Atlanta. And you want these blacks in your government because you're afraid to say no to them. And the police said that incarcerated man orchestrated the attack, but the kids weren't the target. Watch this from Fox 5.
Authorities say a high-ranking member of the GoodFellas gang who was incarcerated orchestrated the attack using a smuggled cell phone. Following those instructions, the suspects opened fire at an apartment complex where the 3 young teens were gathered to celebrate Freeman's birthday. Police say they weren't the targets.
These kids were innocent victims. So when we talk about the gang involvement, these 2 13-year-olds and this 11-year-old, they didn't have a gang involvement.
Those arrested were identified as Keontae Sanders, Richard Hollis, Reginald Thomas, DeKeithion Mobley, Marcus Crawford, Tradon Crawford, and Allie Caldwell. The final 2 were arrested Tuesday. Police had some tough talk for those responsible.
GoodFellas Criminal Street Gang being one of the most hyper-violent gangs in the city of Atlanta. And we will pursue you relentlessly in making sure that we keep this city safe and suppressing violence.
Yeah, right.
And the investigation continues. There is a $50,000 reward for information about this case.
Have you heard any so-called black leadership speaking up about this? They put the illegal aliens before they do the blacks who voted for them, by the way. Black excellence. Have you heard the so-called black leadership saying this is wrong? You need to overcome the spirit of your mama and return to your father. It has nothing to do with racism or anything. This is evil, pure evil. One other story, I bet you, if you heard anything about it, a little or nothing, and you're not heard the so-called black leadership speak up against this, from the Independents. A Texas rapper and his 5-year-old daughter was shot dead in what authorities have described as a brazen targeted shooting in a Dallas car wash on Monday morning. Watching from NBC DFW.
We are awaiting any kind of information from police. Forest Hill, we've been asking them all day long for any kind of information about what happened out here. The limited information we are getting is from family on this scene, and this is what they are telling us. They have identified the 2 victims of a shooting, they say, that happened here at the car wash this morning. They shared pictures with us saying Ronnie Smith, a local rapper, and his daughter are the victims of the shooting. His daughter, they said, just turned 5 years old yesterday.
Amazing, huh? What's wrong with the blacks? I've said it 1,000 times, so it's worth saying one more time. The blacks were not like this 70 years ago. They were not violent. They were not as angry as they are today. They did not kill one another. If you heard about a killing, it was up north somewhere, about Chicago. The blacks were not this way. Are you saying that the blacks are cursed? It's not a blessing. And they hire black mayors and things like that. And none of this stops because these people that they're voting for do not care. So who can you blame? Do you blame the people they're voting in for not doing anything about it, or the people who are doing the voting? You are responsible for you and no one else. This Texas rapper aunt said he wasn't targeting anyone. It was a family man. Watch this from NBC DFW.
Forest Hill police taped off a large section around the car wash. The victim's large extended family members coming in, struggling, of course, with their unimaginable grief. Smith's aunt tells NBC5 he was a good person, loved his 2 kids, and didn't bother anyone.
He didn't target nobody. He was a family man, and he was going around rapping. Okay, why would you target him? Why would you target him? He didn't bother nobody. And a baby, his baby. All we know is that he was targeted. He was doing the car, cleaning the car out, and somebody came through shooting and killed him and the baby.
There have been some tense moments throughout the day between police and some of the grieving people who arrived on scene. At one point, officers walked side by side to clear the field of people and get them just behind the crime tape, which did not sit well with some who said they are family members of the victims.
Amazing, huh? What's wrong with the blacks? They are the only human beings who act this way in such a large number for so long. What's wrong with them? I told you once, I told you twice. They hate their mothers and they're yearning for their fathers. They're evil, pure evil. This is why I tell you to drop your anger so you can be free of evil. The heart is wicked. And as the word says, and it's in the word, you cannot trust an angry person. Man or woman. An angry person is desperate. A desperate person. Amazing, huh? This is like 2025 and the blacks have not gotten better in 70 years. ever since they turned their lives over to so-called black leadership. Look at these black men running around as angry as the black women. Lord have mercy, my baby. Why are you talking about my baby? My baby, he was a good man. He was a family man. Why are you talking a family man? I've said this before, but I want you to know, men and women, boys and girls, you can be free. And as long as your heart is wicked, which is causing you to be desperate, you're never going to have perfect peace. And you will always, as long as you walk this earth, be affected by other evil human beings. Your mother, your father, and those who love their mother and their father, they hate God, by the way. You hate God. You love your mother, you hate God. The hardest thing for human beings to do, men and women, males and females, is to admit you're wrong, that you're evil. You'd rather say, oh, I'm a sinner. Why? I drink. I do this, I do, than to admit that, oh, I'm evil. You'd rather admit the other stuff that has nothing to do with sin rather than to admit the real sin. Evil, angry, evil. Anger is evil, and evil people play God. That's why you judge. You're afraid. You're desperate. You need somebody to love you. You're afraid to stand on your own. You got to join a group to make yourself feel better. And then when you go along with the group, eventually they turn on you and you turn on them. It doesn't work. It is easier for you to talk about all your little vices than it is for you to talk about the wickedness of your heart. Your heart is evil, which separates you from the truth. It separates you from the light. It separates you from love. God would love to create love through you. The same love that was in his son, Jesus Christ, it's the same love he's trying to create through you. It's not you, but the Father that's in you. And all angry people are stupid people. I want you to prove me wrong. Watch how you act, you think, you feel, and you act when you're angry. And see that, oh, Master, so stupid. You can have perfect peace. Never let anyone tell you. Even if you don't have it right now, never let anyone tell you that you cannot have perfect peace right here on earth. Christ came that you may have peace. And perfect peace. But you're refusing to take control of your own life. You're looking for things of the world which are here today and gone tomorrow to bring you love, bring you peace, and it never works. It never works. It never works. And yet, you lay your treasure up on earth rather than in heaven. You lay your treasure up with money, with false relationships, with hating others, or think you love others, or automobiles, or a big group to be a part of, so you think you're important. You lay your treasure up on trying to solve your own problems. You lay your treasure up on people, places, and things, and it passes away tomorrow. It's gone. Instead of laying your treasure up in heaven by admitting that you're evil. And you realize I'm wrong for being evil. Anger is evil. Anger is hatred. Hatred is playing God, which separate you from God. You lay your treasure up on earth rather than in heaven. where everlasting life is. But you get this false life. You hold on to your thoughts, your feelings, and you think that you're holding on to heavenly treasures when they're earthy. And that's why they're here today and gone tomorrow. You could have peace. You'd rather go online and look for a husband or a wife rather than have a wait and see if one will be added unto you so you can have a perfect marriage. But you laying your treasure up in heaven, up on the earth, so you're going to go looking for one. And you end up getting hell every time. You never find a marriage that would last you until death do you part. And if you happen to stay in one for 40 or 50 years, you catching, the man is licking boots. And the woman is controlling you, and both are in hell. Happy wife, happy home, and no such thing. A happy wife is a hell of a home. You're laying your treasure up on earth rather than heaven. You're laying your treasure up in religion. You're religious. And think about that. You still have no perfect peace. You're still looking for love. You're still afraid of dying. You still live in your imagination. You're still lonely. You still worry. And you cry at night. And God is not in religion. You're never, ever, 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 ever going to find God in a religion. I don't care what religion it is. Christian religion, Catholic religion, atheist religions, Jewish religion, Allah religion, Mormon religion, nobody religion. God has nothing to do with religion. Zero. He said that you must worship him in spirit and in truth. And you'll only do that by admitting that you're wrong for being evil. I'm wrong for hating, being angry. I got to apologize to my parents. I'm sorry for hating y'all parents. I realize you helped yourself. He will forgive you and bring the light to you, shining on you, through you, and you can practice living in the present. Walking in the spirit by living in the present. You will walk in the light and you will refuse to get out of that light. But you don't want that. You want your prison of your imagination, your misery. You love your thrills. And that's why God said only a few will find that straight and narrow path. As long as you're looking for it on the outside, you're going to always find the wrong thing. Ain't no way around it. Men are looking for wives online and everywhere else but in the right place. Why women, females are looking for husbands online in all the wrong places. You're never going to find one. And if you find one, it's going to be beta. You're going to be a mama's boy and you're going to be miserable. You're going to have a love-hate relationship for them because you're going to love controlling them but hate controlling them. And you'll destroy their children. If you don't overcome men, you're going to end up like this or even worse. From WSVN TV. A young woman stole hundreds of thousands of dollars in cryptocurrency from her ex-boyfriend and went on a healthy spending spree before she was arrested at a downtown Miami hotel, a private investigator said. Watch this from WSVN-TV.
Also today, we're hearing from the man who says he was ripped off by a woman he loved. He says he's sharing his story to warn others about this type of crime.
Can you do me a favor?
A 22-year-old woman escorted from a downtown Miami hotel accused of ripping off her ex to the tune of $850,000.
I had great intentions with her. I loved her with all my heart. I treated her to the best that I could.
Michael Anthony Bravo is a guy who hit it big in the crypto market. He also thought that finding Jabali last June was a win in the love department.
I always, spoiled her with great dinners, whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted to go shopping. I provided for her, I helped pay her bills.
But this relationship would head south a couple of weeks ago. He fell asleep on his yacht and woke up to find she was gone, along with his American Express credit card and $850,000 in cryptocurrency.
As soon as she transferred the Trump coin from my wallet into her wallet, she left within 7 minutes.
He got what he deserved. He's putting his treasure upon the earth. Laying his treasure rather than within. He loved her, and this is what he didn't love her. It was all ego, it was all a thrill, and he got what he deserved. She was wrong too, but he can't blame her. He took her out, he put on a yacht, he paid her bill. What kind of man pay a woman's bills? And it's not his wife. And even with the wife, you have to make sure they're done properly. And I've told you to stop it. It's never going to work. Never, ever, 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 ever spoil a woman. You set her up to use you because she see you nothing but as weak. And she'll say, oh, I love you, so sweet. Oh, thank you, that's so nice of you. In her mind, she think, what a weak mama boy idiot. Stop laying your treasures upon earth. Live from within. And you'll have money, and you'll use it in the right way. Not for a thrill. And you will totally enjoy life. You have amazing fun. But you will be in the world, but not of it. He tell you he spoiled her. And look what happened. This guy hired a private investigator to track down the woman, down. Watch this.
I think this was a plan from day one, that she targeted my client, that she's much more sophisticated than he gave her credit for. And for someone 22 years old to have set all this up, this can't be her first rodeo either.
Private investigator David Bolton was hired to track her down and found her in a downtown Miami hotel on Valentine's Day, where Miami police confronted her. Investigators say she told them, "That loser is my ex-boyfriend. He lets me use his credit card." Police say she also booked an Airbnb with his card, with a charge of more than $4,200. She was arrested for grand theft and credit card fraud. But the problems for Bravo didn't end there. After appearing in court, the Tunisian native was handed over to immigration officials. The problem is she has the key to a crypto wallet that holds Bravo's money.
And that's kind of put us in the bind that we are with immigration at this point. And certainly we don't want her to be deported until she goes before a judge and before our client is made whole.
And he says they are working with Congressman Carlos Jimenez and the state attorney's office to try and keep her here until they can get Bravo's money back.
Amazing, huh? She called him a loser, and he is a loser because he's catering to her. Every woman, every female sees her boyfriend or her husband or any man as a loser when he's trying to please her. They'll let you do it, but they know you're a loser. Men and women, if you want to be free, if you want to have an amazing life right here while you live and get rid of all your misery, all of your worries, all of your cares, and have a life where your burdens are light and not heavy, and your way is made easier or easy, you got to live from within. You must die in order to live. As long as you're looking on the outside, all your crypto is going to be taken away. Because it's not the women's fault. They know how to play that game. They know your ego. They know you have the same spirit they have, and they know how to play the game. In the same way men know how to play the game on women, because they have the same spirit as the woman has. And two devils are taking advantage of one another. According to GMA, ABC, this Aurora Phillips is accused of using online dating app to lure older men in a sinister romance. In a sinister romance scheme, according to FBI. Watch this from GMA, ABC.
Hey, good morning, Michael. The FBI says Aurora Phelps orchestrated the most sinister romance scam they've ever seen. Now they're telling us they're investigating whether the deaths of her victims was a byproduct of all the drugs she allegedly dosed them with, or whether she intended to murder them all along. This morning, the FBI is investigating whether Aurora Phelps, the suspect behind what authorities are calling a romance scam on steroids, wasn't just after her victims' money, but their lives, too.
Does the FBI believe that she intended to kill them by drugging them, or that was just part of how she was able to get the money out of them?
If you have one or two victims, maybe there's, an accident. In the 20 plus years I've been in the FBI, you start to rack up number of victims and the number of bodies, you certainly start to suspect and want to look into, is there more nefarious intent?
Authorities say Phelps would lure older men in their 60s and 70s on dating apps, drug them, steal their identities, then their money, buying gold coins, plane tickets, hotel rooms, motorcycles. She would even kidnap them, says the FBI.
Amazing. Hell on earth. You can either continue in your hell on earth, or you can have paradise right here on earth. But you got to overcome your fallen state if you want paradise. Authorities said the woman kidnapped a man and took him to Mexico. What the hola?
We believe Aurora Phelps deliberately drugged someone in the United States, put him on a plane with her, flew to Southern California, and then put him in a wheelchair and pushed him physically across the U.S.-Mexico border, then got on another plane, went to Mexico City, checked him into a hotel room, and we know that that victim was later found dead a few hours later.
She's been indicted on 21 counts, including kidnapping leading to death. The FBI says her alleged crime spree dates back to at least 2019.
Certainly actual losses, likely in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and intended losses, millions of dollars.
What the? Talk about a man-eater. She's a man-eater. You better watch out, boys. She'll chew you up. What a mess. But when you're not seeking what's right, seeking the kingdom of heaven and what's right, this is what happens to you. All of us, as long as we're walking in the darkness. You don't have to walk in the darkness. You can walk in the light. You don't have to want for anything. You have to yearn for anything. You can be free and yet have everything. And when you have everything, you know it's just stuff you need to function on earth. It's not your heavenly treasures. It's what God has given you the ability to do. Get things, live, have fun, enjoy your life, but don't put it before what is right. Don't try to get life from it. And last but not least, this woman's husband says, according to GMA ABC, this woman's husband said, after 14 years of knowing her, she has never shown a sign of this. Watch this.
That as her husband, William Phelps, telling the LA Times that his wife was on the phone a lot, and he now wonders what she was doing. We've known each other for 14 years, he said, and she's never shown a sign or an ounce of this. If she did do it, damn, she put one over on me. The FBI is asking any additional victims to come forward, but tells me victims may be too ashamed about what happened or were too drugged to remember much at all. They fear other victims might not be alive. Now, Phelps could face life in prison if convicted on all counts, but we're told she might fight extradition from Mexico, a process that could take months, Robin.
Isn't that something? I blame the woman because she's definitely wrong. That's evil. But I blame the man, too. He's evil, or they're evil. They're not looking for real love, which only comes from God, from truth, from the light. That's the only place you're going to find real love. Love that gives life rather than death. I was thinking about what's happening in our government right now. And one thing that I realized, I saw this woman, Jasmine Crockett, maybe Crockett too, but Crockett. Maybe Crockett. But, and Maxine Waters and another black woman with no hair, how they're acting in our government. And not just them, these other black women as well. And it is awful. It's awful. And what America don't realize, and maybe they do, but they're just afraid to stop it. America has made a horrible mistake allowing black women, black females to get into government, to get into your business and try to run your companies, to try to run the police department or anything. You have made a horrible mistake. And America is already regretting it, but you're going to regret it even more so. Because the one thing that you don't realize, or maybe you do, but just afraid to stop it or say it or anything, is that black people do not know how to run anything. They just don't know how. They have no self-control, no knowledge of how to do anything good. And everything they touch turned to ghetto. And the reason for that, first of all, they have not been taught discipline, self-discipline in their homes. And they have not been taught it in the schools because white people are afraid to correct the blacks. And so, and then black females have been taught that they suffer. The black females suffer so much. And the black females do not respect black men. And as a result of not being corrected by the black men, their fathers, their boyfriends, their uncles, and their nephews, and their male cousins, and grandpa, and no one, they have gone completely out of control. And then the white people tell them they understand because it's hard on the black female. She had it hard. She went through slavery, and then she had to take care of the family, and she this. And so black females cannot run anything. They have stone attitudes, and they feel entitled, and they lost all sense of self-control. And America, you will regret it if you're not already regretting it. I remember there was a time in government when it was pretty much ran by white people, and there was a sense of respect. It was like rules in the government that they would have to treat each other with. Respect each other. Even if they didn't agree, they still would be orderly as much as possible and try to run the government however they ran it, but it was a sense of respect. That's gone now because you've allowed black females to be a part of it. And they are nasty. They're evil. And what you see these black females and the way they're acting in government, the police department, city councils, mayors, whatever you allow them to be in, is what they're done in the home too. They have done this to the children, the men's children. They have done it to the men, the black men in the homes, if they were in the homes. And black females have no respect at all, zero. They have nothing but anger and disrespect. And really with the white man, I remember once when I wasn't that into government, paying that much attention, and I lived in South Central LA for a while when I first moved out here. And one time, Maxine Waters, you know how the government go home for a vacation. While they're home, they meet around with the community sometimes. And Maxine Waters met with the community, and at that time, Newt Gingrich was in office. And Maxine was talking about how horribly she treated Newt Gingrich. He was white, and she just said what she wanted to say to him, and she just does what she wanted to do, and the people applauded. The blacks applauded it. They didn't think that was wrong or disgusting or that's not the way you act in government. It's not the way an adult should act. White people, you see for yourself that blacks cannot run anything. You see, they don't even have their own businesses in their own neighborhoods. And their neighborhoods are ghetto. They can't run anything, and yet you turn the American government over to them. And they are destroying it. And I have proof of it. This is hell on earth. And because of the blacks, not all, but most, because there are some black men and women who are starting to wake up from this, and they're working on themselves, they're forgiving, and they're overcoming anger. But because of that, the government, these people are screwing up the government, and the white people are afraid to stop them. Look, it's just over. It's just over. Look at South Africa. Look at anywhere in the world where the world have allowed the blacks to take over and run their thing, especially Western world. And even in South Africa or Africans where blacks, it's just only blacks. There's, I guess, some places where mostly black. It's screwed up. Nothing is working. And you have turned a Christian country over to them that was founded by white men who, by the grace of God, built the greatest country in the world. And due to fear, you allow the enemies of God to destroy it. It's mind-blowing to me, but I understand. When you have fear, you can't function. Your whole life is dictated by fear. I want to show you the attitude of black females. And this attitude that you're going to see, and you've already seen in the government, is what's happening in the black homes, in the black churches, in the black community, and everywhere. And that's why nothing works. And you wonder why the kids are so bad and out of control. They're just like the black females, their mothers and their grandmothers. They have no sense of discipline at all. They have no love and they have no respect. And they are grown bodies acting like wild animals. And you've turned this country over to them. And they hate the white man. And they love, and the white woman too, to be honest, and they love arguing with them in public and trying everything they have to disrespect them and degrade them. And when they do, they feel good about it. And the black people applaud them. This is hell on earth, and this is evil. our country, my country, I don't care how much you sing and dance about it and say it, it's no longer a Christian country. I know Donald Trump, the Great White Hope, is trying to bring it back to that, but it's too far gone. You've allowed the children of evil to get in there and run things. And then you give them permission out of fear, and you say, oh, you're a black female, you've had it hard. You lie to them. And they know it, and they are out of control. I want to show you what this woman, Jasmine Crockett, did. And it's disgusting, it's evil. She's a grown female, but she's acting like a DEI person. It's pretty sad. It's sad in that you allow evil to take on over your life inwardly and outwardly by going along with this. And America will regret it. They already regret it. They're going to regret it even more so. And I noticed that most of these female Democrats, so-called politicians, are in the Democratic Party. They run the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party is falling apart. As the so-called people of color take over the Democratic Party, look what it is becoming. They say it's far left and way left. It's evil now, pure evil. That's why they're not feeling anything that except hatred. They hate the Great White Hope, Donald Trump, and they hate all people, to be honest. Because if you don't love all, you love none. Nobody. You can't love, you gotta love your enemy. If you don't love your enemy, you love no one, your own children, your own family. And this is why they treat each other this way. I may not know some things, but I know black people. And black people, not all, but most, because there are some black people overcoming, but black people don't care. They have no love. They don't care about destroying you. They get a thrill. They really don't care about each other or anything. They have no love. And this is the church-going black people, the non-church-going black people, the so-called educated black people, the non-educated black, they don't care. They'll cuss you out. They'll fight you. They don't care. Black-on-black crime, out of control. They don't care. They have lost their way. They're evil. It has nothing to do with racism. No such thing as racism or sexism or homophobia or Allah-Uabaism or white supremacism, anti-Semitism, or derbijadism. No ism. This is evil. Pure evil. I want to show you what these black women, black females have done or is doing to our country, and they have already done it to the black family and the black community. And the black men are so weak, they call them queens. Black queens, they call them. They don't say queens of hell. They're black queens, all right, but queens of Satan. And it's sad. It's hell on earth. And they are bringing their hell into government now, which is going to affect all Americans unless you overcome the world. This is from SK Pop. This is about this black female so-called Texas representative, Jasmine Crockett, posts a video on Tuesday night on TikTok dancing to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us version from the Super Bowl halftime performance. White people should have never allowed that guy to perform at the Super Bowl. That's not the way white people act at the Super Bowl. Just like that opening that the Anchor Baby put together, you had this black guy performing at Donald Trump event. He up there talking about having a dream and looking over the mountain. Look just as stupid. In your face, white people. And you're turning over your country to them. Black people cannot run anything. That's why they have nothing going on for themselves. They take over the white people already developed things and they destroy it. They don't make it better. But anyway, so this Jasmine Crockett dancing to Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us version from the Super Bowl halftime performance, ahead of Donald Trump joint address to Congress. This is from SK Pop. So this is where Crockett urged everyone not to watch the president delivering his speech. Watch this from X. This is an image of it.
This is her X account, and the name of her X account is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. What a mess. And it reads, well, the state of the disunion will begin shortly. I'm going to be in attendance. And she puts an unamused emoji. And she writes, do not watch, in all caps.
And I want you to, if you're watching this photo, go back to it.
Oh, my bad.
If you're watching this photo of her, and it looks like she's at the White House there somewhere. Look how she's acting. Look at the ghetto grin and the hood personality, attitude. There's nothing professional about that at all.
And did she think it was the State of the Union? She's calling it the State of the Disunion.
She doesn't know. But look at it. Does that look professional? Does that look like she's a part of an American government? She brought the hood to the White House. And you voted for her. This is the attitude of black females. This is what drives black children to violence. Being raised by females like this, and the black men can't stop it because their mothers were like this, and they end up with you become attracted to what you hate, so they end up with the mothers, same spirit, and they can't handle it. Here is Jasmine Crockett TikTok post. Watch this.
Oh, no. It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music. You really about to do it? Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. They get on it like that. Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like, bro. What's that on the beat, bro? Deep boat, any rap, he a freak though, man. Damn, like Amber Lambs, tell them breathe. Let them boys to the cross, they walk around like thieves. What's up with these?
Think about that. This is supposed to be a governmental representative. White people white people don't even act this way now in government, not crazy like that. You have brought the hood to the White House by way of the black female. And some black men, but even the black men don't act. I know you saw that black guy with the ponytail the other night acting stupid. But even the black men don't quite act that way. Remember when the government was professional, they dressed professionally and they acted professionally. Remember we used to have that in America? When I was growing up, we were taught to act professionally out there. Don't act crazy. That's gone now. That's gone now. You got this. This is in government. That is a so-called representative from Texas or somewhere, I think. Yeah, I think I read Texas. Yep. This is not the way you're supposed to act in government. But you brought the black hood to the White House. And I promise you, you may hear one or two blacks disagree with that, but they're going to love it because that's all they know, and it seemed normal to the blacks. This female, Crockett, is dancing in what looked like the White House. Where's the professionalism in that? And then when other black children who don't have good parents anyway, when they see that, how will they act? When they see a representative acting that way, how will they act? It looked like it was the Capitol building. It was somewhere in Washington, D.C., where she has no business being. Whether it's the Capitol or the White House. Oh, not the White House. No, it wasn't the White House. The Capitol looked like the Capitol. I want you to think about that, folks. This is a grown female. This is not some little kid. And she's carrying on like that in government, at work. You have brought the hood to Washington, D.C. You're voting in these black female governors and mayors and police chiefs and fire chiefs, and they're destroying it. They can't help it. That's what they do with everything they touch. Look at their own, and they end up most of the time leaving the hood because they move into white areas. Here is, so that was something to tell. Here's another post from Crockett during Trump joint address. Watch this from X.
He up there, he's hearing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we weren't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't. You know, we showed up. And if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do for sure. We got some cool shirts. We got Madam Williams, who just happens to have the honorary seat. It's not even honorary because she's holding it down, y'all. This is the message that she wanted to send today. We've got my sis, Andrea Salinas, and she kept it real simple. Resist. That's what we about.
So you still want females running your country? Females were not created to lead. They were created to follow. And when they're not being guided, they go out of control like this. And the black female has gone out of control. Quick break, back in a moment. And get your punchy coffee. Good. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/store. rebuildingtheman.com/store. And every dime goes back to the 501c3 nonprofit bond, my nonprofit organization. And you're helping us to help others, all right? And your mug, Tommy like a mug, you can drink your coffee from. Good. Whole bean or ground bean coffee, all right? rebuildingtheman.com/store. I want to go back to the Crockett female. America, what you don't realize is that black females hate black men. Hate them. They don't respect them, and the black men are afraid of them. They call them queen. They're so afraid of, you my queen, and the queen giving them hell. And they call them queen. This female is supposed to be a representative from Texas, and she brought the hood to the White House. And that's what's going to happen even more. If this continues, if y'all don't stop these black people from being a part of our government, it's going to be total hood. Look what Obama did to her. I remember it was reported, I don't know how true it was, that Snoop Dogg was smoking pot in the White House when Obama was there. And then, okay, so Snoop Dogg smoked pot in the White House. So when Bush with the guy that just Joe Biden left, it was said that somebody smoked cocaine up in there or something like that. It's becoming a hood. The class of America is disappearing. America was a class place at one time. Very classy. So Nick, which one we start with? Was that the one where she showed?
We finished with the B, where she was at during Trump's joint address. This post,
So
she's
here's
just talking.
Crockett, Jasmine Crockett called President Trump Putin's hoe. Watch this from Max.
First of all, thank you for making the back of my head famous. But second of all, if we could do a sequel, if you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's.
Stop being Putin's hoe. That came from a black female representative. Think about that. I want you to just think about that. What you don't realize that the Great White Hope and Elon Musk, they represent the father of the family. And these black females hate the father. Daddy is home and daddy's cleaning up, and they hate him because they hate daddy. They hate men, and they hate daddy. They hate masculinity. They hate a man that leads the way, and they will go out of their way to destroy him, embarrass him, or whatever it takes. Jasmine Crockett, Maxine Waters, and that female with no hair, and all these black, they're doing the same thing. They hate men. And they especially hate men that they cannot control because all their lives they've been controlling black men. Black men lick the feet of black females because they're afraid of them. They don't know how to handle them. And they call them queens. And Trump represent dad. And they hate dad. And they hate God. She wanted to tell Trump, stop being Putin hoe. That came from the mouth of a so-called representative. Where's the professionalism in that? Where's the orderly thing that when it was just white people running the government, it was happening, it worked? And you think that's bad, and it is. Crockett tell Elon Musk to F off. Watch this on X.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off.
That's it.
See? And they laugh. This is like a hood rat. This is a government representative. And the world is watching. F off, she says. She's dancing at what appears to be the Capitol. She's doing black hood dances. My country is gone. You have turned my country over to the hood rats. And they will destroy it. Black people destroy everything they touch. And not all, but most. It's not going to work allowing these people to run your businesses, run your schools, run your country. It will. It's already South Africa. It's only going to get worse. And white people, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide to. They'll follow you wherever you go, and they will destroy you. Because their hearts are angry, their hearts are wicked. And they blame you for their wicked hearts. They don't blame their mothers and their fathers where it started, where it came from. They blame you. Because for them, they get to be voted in by other angry black people. It's interesting, in the good old days, before the so-called civil rights movement, which should have never happened, it was the worst thing ever happened to the blacks other than abortion. Even black people wouldn't tolerate this female acting this way in government or anywhere else, really. She's cursing. She's carrying on. And she's supposed to be a professional person. It's not a joke. It's very destructive. And you're going to see the White House, our government, will be a hood government. You're letting too many black females in there. And look at that black female out of over there where they had the Mardi Gras thing. What's that city? New Orleans. New Orleans. It's a ghetto. New Orleans is a pure ghetto since the blacks took over. It was already bad in the black hoods. It's worse now. Look at the Los Angeles. You got a black female so-called mayor running L.A. Look what happened. She off at some black party up in Africa somewhere, and the town is burning down. And yet you vote them in because you're trying to make the black people think you love them, and you're showing fear to them, and they're destroying what you built. I can't think of one thing that the blacks have done to make America better, to add to it. But I can tell you 1,000 things they have done to destroy it, and you allow it to happen. And the Wicked Witch of the West, Maxine Waters, was she like 80 now or so? And she's worse than she was when she was younger. Nothing but hatred of the heart. And they keep voting her in. She's not done one thing for the blacks. That's good. Nothing good. And they keep voting her in, 86 years old, and wicked to the core. She's the same woman that was touting how she had treated Newt Gingrich. I will never forget that. I remember that. And I'm like, why are you proud of this? And I wasn't even to government at the time. And I had moved to L.A. I was into the black thing at the time. And I still thought that was wrong. And the blacks applaud her. The Gazette is reporting Maxine Waters, a Democrat from California, said she was investigating Elon Musk for interfering in the 2024 election. And she went on to say, and we don't know everything that Elon Musk has done. With his high technology. Derrick, did you write this or did this come from the Gazette? And we don't know everything that Elon Musk has done with his high technology. Think about that. She's cursing a government representative. This is so black, I don't even know what to tell you about it. With his high technology. Waters said during a video stream that aired simultaneously with Trump's address to Congress on Tuesday. And I want you to watch when she says this. Watch how the blacks that are part of this interview, whatever they're doing, watch how they laugh and they love it when she says it. Watch this from X.
Turned it over to him. And we don't know everything that Elon Musk has done with his high technology. We don't know what he's been accused of by some as it may relate to the election. But we're not going to give up in investigating and finding.
Oh, they didn't show, Derrick didn't show the people around. They were laughing. They loved it. This is black. This is what's wrong with the blacks. But so if you were watching the whole thing, you would have seen there was like 3 other people, I think, on that broadcast with her, and they were like laughing, and they loved it. They didn't think, oh my God, why is she acting this way? She is a professional, supposed to be, not but supposed to be. And if you think that's bad, and it is, I'm telling you, it's going to get worse, white people. It's not in the blacks to do good. They are Deuteronomy, cursed chapter. They are cursed. And you think that's bad. Watch this from this Ayanna Pressley, whatever her name is. This is from CNN. Representative James Comer and Ayanna Pressley yelled over each other in a tense moment at an oversight committee hearing with sanctuary city mayors. Watch this from X.
Without objection, so ordered. We've put it in the record.
I haven't entered it.
You have what?
Mr. Chair, can I have several articles. I need to enter them. Let me just go ahead with what the articles are. What they speak to.
What's the next article?
Let me proceed. Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born Americans commit more rape and murder than immigrants.
Listen, this trend of you all trying to get thrown out of committee so you can get on MSNBC is going to end. We're not going to put up with it.
This is my procedural
Mr.
right as a member of this committee.
You can go with Mr. Frost and Mr. Green.
I'm reclaiming my time.
That's what you want. No. Ms. Presley, I have been very accommodating to you. Mr. Subrignon,
and I take particular umbrage as a survivor of sexual violence. I will insert
survivor of sexual violence. Who cares?
Thank you.
No. It is Mr. Subrignon.
Mr. Chair?
No, you know the process of unanimous consent. You are not recognized.
I have several articles to enter into the record.
Mr. Subrignon, if you don't go, we're going to recognize Mr. Timmons.
Amazing, huh? And you want these females running your country. You get what you ask for. They will turn it, and they are turning it into a hood. They have nothing good to offer at all. It's not in their psyche. It's not in their bodies. It's not in their bones. It's nowhere. They don't have it. They don't know how to do it. They have no love. They have no respect. They don't respect Trump and the white men because they represent dad, and they hate the fathers. I'm warning you, just like 30 years ago, I warned white people when they were doing the knockout thing. Y'all better start speaking up here. The blacks are going to get worse. They're not going to get better. There's nothing in them to get better. And you put them in your government. I'm warning you before it's too late. You need to change this. Do not allow these people to participate in your companies, your government, your communities. You can only do white flight for so long. I know Elon is trying to send a rocket up there to the moon so y'all can go up there to live. And I'm already buying my ticket. Because I'm going to go to buy some land before it become too expensive. But everybody can't go to the moon. 888-7753-773. They hate Trump because Trump represents a strong father. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Ronnie out of Ohio. Ronnie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Uncle Jesse, how you doing today?
All is well, sir. Amazing.
Good. I wanted to push back, I guess, a little bit.
Okay.
On your, I know you've been going in on Jasmine Crockett since the show started. I don't know what she did or what she said to get you going.
I played it. She's dancing in the Capitol building. Look like she's calling Trump Putin hoe, and she's cursing. She's brought the hood into the White House.
Did it hurt your feelings?
It didn't hurt my feelings, but I don't like that for the young people to see that kind of stuff because the black children are not being raised in the black homes, right? And they're going to see this, and they're going to believe that this is fine to act that way, too, because This female and that little bald-headed one and Maxine Waters are supposed to be representatives. And if representatives, professionals are acting this way, the black kids going to think that this is normal because their parents are no good. They're not going to tell them, no, you can't act that way.
You said they're supposed to be representatives, or they are representatives?
Supposed to be.
Jasmine Crockett won 2 elections, the same amount that Trump won.
Unfortunately.
And she is a representative. So
Unfortunately.
I don't know why you keep calling her. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You talking about Trump winning unfortunate, or you saying Jasmine Crockett's wins were unfortunate?
Jasmine Crockett, because look how she's acting.
Because she's black.
Yeah.
Good Lord, Uncle Jesse, I don't understand it.
Why? So let me ask,
really don't understand
do you think that all 3 of these people I've just shown, should they be acting this way up in the government?
I don't see a reason why they shouldn't.
Should they be acting this way in government?
It's not up to me to make that judgment, but I don't see a reason why they should not exercise their freedom of speech or tell the truth when they're asked a question.
So they should be cursing, dancing, calling Trump a hole for tune, and carrying on in government. You don't see anything wrong with. You don't see anything wrong with that.
If they're being honest about it, I don't see anything wrong with it. I would
That's
see something
amazing.
wrong with it.
See, I told you that's. I don't know what happened to the blacks that they don't see anything wrong with that. What's wrong? What's wrong with the blacks? They don't see anything wrong with this.
It would be wrong if Congress was in session and there was a vote going on and she was down there dancing. I would have an issue with that if she was dancing while she was on the clock.
But there's nothing wrong with a representative dancing in the Capitol, doing a stupid so-called rap song, any song really, but a rap song, and then she's cursing in the Capitol, and she called the president Putin hole, a representative, and you don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't. That's why I'm
that's
asking
shocking.
You to shed more light
that's
on
why
that.
I don't know what happened to the blacks, that they lost all sense of respect. You don't even see anything wrong with it, Ronnie. I'm surprised. What's good about it? What's good about it?
What's good? I wouldn't say if there's anything necessarily good about it.
Then it has to be bad then.
I would disagree with you on that. I think some things can fall in the category of not good and not bad.
Not true.
We just disagree.
Right on. Ronnie, thank you, buddy. Yeah. I got to take a break. Two more. Thank you, Ronnie. 2 more hours to go. Back in a moment. The hate news coming up. Not the fake news, but the hate news. I'll be back in a moment. So I want to they did the ash thing yesterday. And I wonder, what was that about? Why would you walk around with some ashes on your forehead looking like you crazy? And so I found out, my producer got a little information about that. They call it Ashy Wednesday. And so I wanted to know more about the Ashy Wednesday thing. And here's a little information from WFAA.
Ash Wednesday is the beginning of the penitential season of Lent. And Lent is that opportunity to prepare for Easter.
As with many other Christian traditions, the origins of Ash Wednesday can be traced back to ancient Rome.
And they're placed on our forehead in the sign of a cross. What it does, it reminds us of how we have to be sorrowful for our sins, but there's also a reminder that we're dust. And we're going to return to dust. And we're mindful of our time here is finite.
You might also be surprised to learn where the actual ashes come from.
The palms that were raised and waved on Palm Sunday. So those are saved, they're returned, they're burnt.
We know where ashes come from, burnt trees, burnt wood. This is so crazy, it's sad. It's sad. Here's a little bit more on the second ritual of Lent season.
Ashes are one of Christianity's most valuable rituals, but it's also just one part of the Lenten season.
We always hear, people talking about, I'm giving up this for Lent.
The spiritual exercise that comes with Lent is that whatever we give up, whatever we have saved because I'm not going to eat chocolate for Lent, then hopefully the money you saved by not eating your chocolate, you're going to find somebody who's in need and say, I want to give this to you. And also to increase your relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ.
This ain't one thing for sure. You may want to give your money away, but one thing for sure, you ain't increasing your relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. That's for sure. Without a doubt. Putting ashes on your head and walking around look like you ain't got no sense. And it had nothing to do with God. It's like praying to Hail Mary. What the? Give up these things. Everything is spiritual now. It's done and completed. All you need to do is live now. Get away with all your little ritual things and just live. Just live. But do what you want. Stay in your hell or live free. Romans 3:23-24, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus. Hebrews 10:14, for by one offering he has perfected forever them that are sanctified. That makes sense. This is the wrong Bible. What the? Derrick, I don't know what it means. Because it's not written right. What Bible you got that, buddy? English KIEV. KJV. For everyone offering he has perfected. For every, I'll get back to that. I'm black and so I blame me. Come on. Derrick gonna read, he black. Let's see, could he do a little better? I got a black producer. I'm black. Lord have mercy. Here he comes. Derrick, my producer, he black. And he went to college. He went to the same college that Tony and went to. Not this Tony from California, another Tony. Will you let me know you have it? Yeah, I'm ready now. What? I'm ready now. What? I can't hear you.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you now.
All right. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 14.
Okay.
For by one offering he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified. Right on.
And what that mean?
That means for by one offering, being Jesus, he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified, meaning those that are coming back to the Father, those that are with the Father. Not coming back, but that are with the Father.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
It means, all right, I'll say it again. For by one offering that he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified. So for by one offering, being that offering is Jesus, being nailed on the cross, dying for our sins. Yeah. He perfected forever them that are sanctified.
Nice.
So those that turn their lives over to Christ. You know?
Thank you.
That's it.
Amazing.
Right on.
So, Derrick, how old are you?
26.
And so, what do you think about the way these black females are acting in government? Jasmine Crockett and Maxine Waters, all these black females that are in government, the mayor of the city of New Orleans, Los Angeles. What do you think about the way they're acting? You're 26?
Yeah.
So you're like a Z, right?
Yeah.
You're a Z.
Yeah.
What do you think about the way they're acting? Do you think it's fine or it's black or what do you think?
No, it's definitely not fine. My whole outlook on how the country should be ran is that we're of Christian origin, so it should be ran in a Christian way. Everybody should be respectful, and because, you know, we've got kids looking up to us, so if we want America that is good and Christian to continue, we need to present ourselves and act accordingly. And yeah, so that's really it.
Oh, good, man. So I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
So I understand you're black, and I used to say it too.
Right.
You said should be run by, but it should be ran.
Run by, ran
you said
by.
that should be run, not should be. It should be run, not should be ran.
Right on. You caught me. If I said
should
that.
Should be run, not be ran.
Run.
I understand you went to a black college.
Ran.
Did you go to a black college?
Yes.
I rest my case.
All right, my fault.
Did you take black studies?
I didn't take black studies. See, you see that? I didn't take no black studies.
Did you take black history?
Probably in high school.
But not in college?
Nah.
Good. And why did you take it in black history in college?
I didn't have a need for it. And I just always had this mindset that we should all come together.
Yeah.
If we're really the United States of America, we should all move in one, in one way instead of dividing everything. You know, black history it is.
Were you surprised at hate to black history and black music in college?
No.
You weren't surprised?
No.
Why not?
He knows a lot
about the blacks.
Yeah, he knows quite a bit about the blacks. I was like, okay, he must have some history.
Yeah, he went to. I had no idea until today. He took black stuff in college.
Oh, really? Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Did you take Afro-American music history?
No, but I know what that is.
What is it?
African American. Well, it's really just. And I don't want to say like it's an American thing, but
it's not American. That's for sure. What is it?
Just old. I say like. And I don't. You know what? I'll just close right there. I was gonna say some stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, don't say it.
Yeah, that's it.
You black.
That's it.
I want one last thing. Then I want to go to the callers from our Facebook. According to Facebook, Atlanta mega church pastor Jamal Bryant unleashed an anti-MAGA tirade that claims God will remove Republicans from government agency if you praise him. Watch this from Facebook.
I'm on Public Enemy. I came to tell white supremacists. I came to tell MAGA. I came to tell white privilege. We coming, we coming, we coming. We coming, we coming. God said, when you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of the State Department. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of Congress and run them out of Senate. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them off of your job and run them off of your classroom. I need you to take your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, we got to shout like we got faith.
Neighbor. What a mess. What do you think about that? A black preacher talking, hating the white man in the church, in the name. What do you think about that?
That sounds like the church I grew up in.
Really?
It felt like home for a minute. It just.
They were teaching about telling the white man they coming, they better get out of the way.
I can't vividly remember a clip like that happening when I was growing up because as you go back in time, they have a little more sense.
It sounded like a rowdy crowd to me, as Joel Friday said. I agree.
Yeah, but
Derrick, what's wrong with the blacks? They're teaching hatred in the church. In the name of Jesus.
It's a hard thing, And when you go unconscious to stuff like that, you won't see it. You know?
Joel, come here. Come here, Joel.
This is messed up, you know?
This is Joel Black.
And Joel's black.
Even though he doesn't know black culture.
Right on.
Joel Friday, every day, Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And he black. What do you think about the way the black people are acting in government, the black female, and what this man just said?
Well,
did you hear that?
Well, first, the I didn't say rowdy crowd. I said Rottweiler.
Let me see. Oh,
yeah,
I misread it.
Yeah, because he sounded like a.
Oh yeah, sure did.
A dog. You know, like when the dog was like growling, like, yeah, like every time you would take a breath, it sounded like a dog. It sounded like animalistic to me. It doesn't sound. Yeah.
You never seen a preacher do that, or you never heard a preacher do that?
No, I've heard it, but he was more aggressive.
And he's talking about telling the white man, we coming. Y'all about to get out the way. We're going to take away your schools. We're going to take away your government. We're going to take away your job.
Oh, I didn't actually hear what he was saying.
We play that, Nick. We play that mega church preacher from, where's it from? Let me see here. I got it.
It's from Facebook.
Facebook. This Atlanta mega church pastor, Jamal Bryant, unleashes an anti-MAGA tirade that claims God will remove Republican from government agency if you praise him. Now, you're going to praise God and God going to do evil. Watch this from Facebook.
Public enemy. I came to tell white supremacists. I came to tell MAGA. I came to tell white privilege. We coming. God said, when you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of the State Department. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of Congress and run them out of Senate. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them off of your job and run them off of your classroom. I need you to take your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, we got to shout like we got faith.
Does that say faith around and find out?
I didn't see that.
So this black man telling the white people they on their way, they going to run them out of everything. And the white people letting them take over the governments and everything. All in the name of Jesus.
Blind leading the blind. That's what it looks like to me. And, it's also interesting to me that the pastor got a hoodie on and some sweats.
I was thinking the same thing. I wonder why he dressed like that.
He's
rapping.
Yeah, it's just, you talk about like common sense being all gone. That's what it is with the blacks. The common sense all gone. They can't see straight, lost and can't see, blind and can't see. But they're so passionate and emotional that the things that they say can be convincing, I guess, to some other people who are also blind.
Haters.
And then the intimidation of it, of that they bring, kind of scares the white people, I think, and they kind of just grow scared.
How all those people agreeing with this man preaching that if you praise God, he gonna remove the Republicans?
White supremacy, MAGA, everything, yeah.
How are they praising, jumping, and shouting?
I know. It's just that anger that you talk about.
Yeah, and I want to see some evidence of this white supremacy and this racism that they experience.
Yeah,
and because I ask black people, I ask.
What do they say?
I never get any type of solid information. I always have to go back to the past, like years when they weren't even living. Like they bring up slavery and just things like that. So
have Joel read some scripture. They will hate that. Why he want you to read the scripture?
I don't know.
What scripture? The same one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here.
So people can laugh at me.
Was it the Hebrew one, did he?
Better known as Arkansas.
I guess the Hebrew.
Yeah, let him read that one. I cannot read.
It's just this?
Yeah, just the Hebrew. Or what did he say?
Let Joel read 1 John 2.
Oh, okay.
15 to 16.
Oh, okay. So it's down.
Down more?
Right there.
Okay.
There it is.
1 John 2, 15 through 16. Do not love the world or what is in the world. If anyone does love the world, the love of the Father finds no place in him. This is 16. Because everything there is in the world, disorder, bodily desires, disorder, desires of the eye, pride and possession is not from the Father, but is from the world.
Nice. Now read Hebrew 10:14. That's what. Oh, Romans 3:23 to
24.
Uh-huh.
For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus.
And Hebrew 10:14.
For by one offered he... Oh, messed that up.
He back.
For by one offering he hath perfected forever them that are not sanctified. Is this King James?
Yeah, it's the true Bible. Well,
I thought Derrick wrote it.
Most accurate.
For the one offering he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified.
That's it.
But isn't forever one word?
That's what it's supposed to be. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought Derrick wrote.
Well, today it is,
Derrick wrote forever, like 2 words.
I'm telling you, it's in the Bible. The KJV, you bust it up right now. Those are going to be, it's going to say for and it's going to say ever. It's not going to be together.
Let me go to Tony out of California. Ask Tony to call back. Tony, thanks for calling back. Go ahead.
How you doing, sir? I'm back at you. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I was saying that God is the blame of all things because your Bible, which you believe and you pushes across this country, speaks on God is all knowing, and He knows everything before it's happened. So it got to be His fault for what goes on. It's not human fault. It's God's fault.
So you believe in God? You believe it's God's fault for the way Maxine Waters and Jasmine Crockett and Ayanna. You believe in God's fault the way that they're acting.
He brought them in this world, didn't he?
But you do believe it's God's fault that they're acting that way.
Jesse, I believe on your actions, on Joel's actions, on Hank's actions, and that new guy, whoever that little coon is, his actions. It's all on God because of y'all actions.
Oh God, a little coon. You made it.
Hey,
they're gonna clip that.
And so you believe it's God's fault the way Jasmine and Maxine Waters and Ayanna are acting. You believe it's God's fault, right? No, I'm just asking about them.
Yes.
You believe it's God's fault that they're acting that way.
Yes.
And why you believe it's God? Why you blame God?
Because He's all knowing, all ultimate. He is the head of all things. He's the beginning and the end. So yes, it's God's fault because He knows what happened before it happened.
What do you think that, Joel?
So are you saying that Satan has no play in any of this at all? It's all God? What about Satan's doing?
And wait a minute. Who brought Satan into the play? Who brought Satan to the game? God brought Satan into the game.
Who brought Satan to the what? To the game?
Into the game. Into the game. It's all a game.
What game? What game?
God, once again, Joel.
Right, but the point, but really quick, you don't think that Satan's influence, the influence of evil, has anything to do with what's going on? It's all God's fault?
Yes, yes.
Why is it all God's fault? Why does Satan have no responsibility?
Because once again, my friend, he just Satan has no power. He just has influence.
Right.
God has the power. God has the power.
And so you're questioning God that you blame Him, huh?
Yes.
So,
of course.
What do you think about that little coon?
Yeah, little coon, what you got to say?
All right. You say influence, right?
Yes.
Do you believe people act?
Satan has no power. Satan can't kill you.
Do you believe people can
God
act?
the only one can kill you.
Do you believe people can act on influence?
Once again, whose fault is that?
No, he asked you a question. He asked you a question.
Excuse me?
He asked you a question.
Right.
Can you
What,
answer
what,
that?
what Lil Coon said? What Lil Coon said? I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't hear what Lil Coon,
Right on,
Lil
right
Coon
on.
had to say.
I said, do you believe people can act on influences?
Of course they can. But once again, who caused them to be weak like that? God did. Who brought these influences upon the earth?
God didn't
did.
cause
because
that.
He brought Satan. Wait a minute. He brought Satan into creation.
Also, now
Okay?
they're weak. Is
All
that what you
things
said?
come from God, bro.
God
Read
didn't cause
Isaiah
it though.
54.
God allowed it, Tony. God allowed it. He didn't cause it.
Wait a minute. If you allowed it, you are causing it. Come on now, make it make sense.
No, you're not
Make
causing
it make
it. No.
sense.
He
Listen,
let people.
listen.
He let the people who want to behave in an evil way. He let Satan deal with them. He doesn't bring them into his kingdom. So that's Satan's doing. It has nothing to do with God.
Show me anywhere that God brought anybody into His kingdom.
What?
Show me a heaven that God created.
You don't believe there's a heaven?
Hell no.
Do you believe there's a hell?
Nope.
Do you believe there's a God?
Yes, it's the power of this universe. Yes,
And do
He
you believe
allows
there's
everything to go the way it wanted. Whatever corruption, whatever killing, whatever evil, whatever joy, God allowed all this to happen.
And you believe there's a Satan?
I believe there's no. I don't believe no.
You don't
I
believe there's a
influence.
Satan?
It's a negative and a positive. That's it.
So
I don't
you believe there's a
I don't believe
God,
no
but
little
you
black-
don't believe there's a Satan.
Wait a minute. I believe there's a higher power, not no God, not no man that's looking down upon us and watch how we act. No, I believe there's a power.
But
of
do
the
you believe
universe.
there's a Satan?
No.
But he believes that there's a negative, so it's the same thing. He just giving
No,
it
it
a
ain't.
different word.
He said
Okay, well y'all put labels on things like y'all call yourself
So
Christians,
negative-
But look
Tony.
look how y'all acting.
Tony.
Look how you
Tony.
right there, that little panel right there acting.
Tony,
Yes.
hate want to know is it God's fault that Tony is talking like Jasmine Cricket?
I don't know who Jasmine Cricket is.
That
or
little
I'm
black
talking
female that was dancing in the Capitol the other day.
And she's keeping it real, my friend. She's keeping
So
it real.
is Satan? So
No,
hate want to
no,
know is it God's fault that you're talking like Jasmine Cricket?
No. The truth is the light. Let it shine, that they say.
Amazing.
So wait, my fault.
Yep.
You believe God is influencing Jasmine Crockett, Ayanna Pressley, and Maxine Waters to
Yes.
act
Once
the way
again,
that they
my
are.
friend,
You
God-
don't believe
once again-
wait, but you don't believe that God is a loving God and He'll take His hands off of His creation and
He's
let
a
them
loving God
choose
on the
and
truth.
let them choose if they truly love Him. To let them choose if they want to be with Him for eternity or be separate from Him. You don't believe
Once
God will do
again.
that?
Ha
God is in control of all things.
God is what?
Okay? He's in control of all things because He brought all things into creation. Okay?
Right. Okay, I understand
Remember that now. Remember that. Listen to what you're just telling me. Right. You just
Right,
said
right,
it
but you gotta remember
He's
what I
in
told
control
you.
of all things.
Right.
Okay. So once again,
Okay.
if it's evil, it came from God. It's in the Bible.
No.
man.
That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong.
Isaiah
Show me where God is
54.
evil. God is all good.
I'm telling you. To
Show
read
me
it for
where. Show
yourself,
me. In
man.
fact, show me scripture.
In the book,
because
in the book of
your
Isaiah
ideas,
54.
your ideas.
In
Where
the
do your
book of
ideas come
Isaiah.
from?
Tony.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to tell you, little coon.
Oh man. Oh man. If I'm a look.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
It's all
In
love.
the book of Isaiah, this says that God created all things, good and evil.
Thank you, Tony. I got to take a break. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
that's
Back in a
good
moment, folks. I want to show you one weird, insane. This video I'm about to show you now is what happens when men are not there to lead the women. They go out of control. They literally don't know what to do with themselves. The light goes out and they go out of control. I don't care if they're in government or at home or wherever. When the man is the light of the family. He's the salt of the world. of the earth, the light of the world. And when the light goes out, the woman loses her way. And when the salt is not there, no more flavor. These women, Democratic women, females, they have lost their way. And these black women had already lost their way before they got into government because the black men, their fathers, black brothers, black uncles, black nephews, nobody have guided them, and they were already out of control. But these white women, these other women, losing their ways too because the men are not there to guide them, and they have no clue as to what to do next, and they go out of control. The light is out. It's a spiritual thing. I want you to watch this from the Daily Mail, a bizarre choice. Choose your fight, a bizarre choose your fight video of female House Democrats gone viral after conservatives on social media ripped it apart for being cringe. Watch this from X. These are like supposed to be representatives in government. What's wrong with them? Look at that. These are the female you voted for to run your government. And this is what you got. I almost feel embarrassed for them. And I almost feel a little sad. It takes a lot for me to feel sad. I almost feel sad for them. They're so lost. In government. No wonder Putin and Allah Akbar people want these people in government. They have already won because these people leading them right there have no chance. So I'm being told, I don't know how true it is, that was AOC, Lauren Underwood, Catherine Clark, Judah Chu, Jasmine Crockett, and Susan Lee. Hello, Susan Lee. How do you do? Do you remember me, baby? Like I remember you. I used to want you home. Remember Susan Q? That's all. But this is what you have in. They're lost, and they're on TikTok doing that. Joel, what do you feel when you say? What do you think? I don't want to put words in my mouth. When you see that, your first Joel Friday, he black. He's here every day except Friday at 11 a.m. When you see that, what do you think?
I think the intent is for them to, they're trying to be funny, but it just comes off as, are you 40? It just comes off as like corny.
It looks like they got problems.
Right, like they're trying to be funny or maybe relatable to the being on TikTok and being like, catering to the young people, but it's just corny. So it comes off as weird and
I bet the young people are like, what the?
Right. So it's just a mess.
How come there's an echo in your voice? In your mic. Oh, that's why the echo was there. You didn't have a headset on?
You can hear it through the mic?
Maybe. Yeah.
I can't talk with it.
He be like, you can't speak with the headsets on?
It's the only way to hear the show to see what's happening.
It's a weird echo, so I hear.
Oh, turn these speakers off.
No, that's not doing that.
Oh, okay. But anyway, my country is gone. Those are like female government representatives. And you think they're going to lead you in a war? And you put them in leadership role. What a mess. My country's gone. Women were not created to lead, and you can't make them be leaders. I want to go to Patty, a first-time call out of Tennessee. Patty, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. Happy Friday.
Thank you, Patty. Amazing.
I want to just call, and I saw you on Owen Schroyer the other night, and I am a new follower of yours, and I love it. I love your show, and I agree with so many things that you say about women are just out of control, but, you know, it's because we're like children.
Yeah.
You know, a child will act out when they are pushing their parent to set boundaries.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, and, you know, a child will act as crazy as you let them act because they feel like they need someone in control of their environment because it makes them feel safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the lady before that called and you asked her if she had forgiven her mother or not,
for recreating her image and the father for not
keeping
protecting
her father
her.
away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, keeping her father away, and that hit home for me so much because, you know, my mom did that same. My mom kept my dad away from me, and you know, my mom was born in the 50s, so she had this. You know, she was born when all the people were like, girls can't do everything that men can do, and they rebelled against that. And so she always had this attitude like, I can do anything a man can do.
Yeah.
And, you know, and she raised me by herself and went to work, and I was left by myself all the time. And I just wilded out, you know, and It was because I didn't have any boundaries at home. I didn't have a dad in my life, and I needed that, you know. And so now I'm grown, and I don't know how to deal with men. Like I have no respect for her, you know. Like she ended up damaging her relationship with me because I feel like she cheated me of having a good life, because she put that on me. And it's so like now, you know, I wish that I had a good man because, you know, you asked if I had a husband, would I obey him? I would love to have a husband to take care of and that was responsible and was the man of the house. Like, that would be like my dream. You know, I mean, I have a daughter now that I raised by myself, and like, I want that for her.
Yeah.
I want her to be able to relax and be who she's meant to be. But it's so hard to find a man in the world that fits that description nowadays because women have beat men down so much and emasculated them to where it's like I have a boyfriend, he lives in my house, but he's more like a child to me. You know, and just because, why? Because he didn't have a father in his life that taught him how to be a man. So your voice on here about this subject is priceless in the world because I don't know how to fix it. You know, I don't know how men, like, how do we fix this? How do we make men be what they're supposed to be?
Good question. Number one is that you can't, so don't even try. All you can do at this point is work on you. You got to forgive your mother, forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother, and God will forgive you, and He would take away that anger from your heart, and He would give you a pure heart, and then He would take you away from your imagination, all those thoughts. All thoughts are all lie because all angry people live in their imagination. They believe that
so true.
Right. They believe that they are their thoughts, right? And so work on you. Don't want for a man. Don't look for a man. It's natural for a woman to want to get married. That's natural, but you're not supposed to want it over what is right. You're supposed to seek first the kingdom of God in his right way and want for nothing. And if it meant for you to get married, have a husband, I promise you God will give you one and it'll be perfect. But if you look for that, you're going to always end up with a mama's boy, and you're going to resent him for it.
Yeah, I do. I always have.
Yep.
Because, just like you said, I live in my imagination. Like, the things that I want are, things that I imagine in my mind. And those are not real. Those things are not real. They are not reality.
Not at all.
And I'm always like, why can't I? I have this man that lives in my house, and he's a nice person. And I'm always like, why can't he be like this? Why can't he be like that? Why can't he do this? Why can't he act this way? But what I'm doing is I'm imagining someone else that's not him.
Yes. Why are you letting him live with you?
And then I'm angry because he's not that thing.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at him for who he really is. I'm angry that he's not this imaginary person that I've made up in my head. And then I'm like, oh, why can't you be this imaginary person? And he's like, I'm just me. I've been me since day one.
And that's why women try to change men. They try to recreate their husband or boyfriend in their image, right? And all they do is make him worse because he can never be what they try to create him to be. Yeah.
Yes, they give up. They're like, I'm never going to be that person that you think.
That's right. Let me ask.
Women fall in love with potential.
Yes.
They're like, oh, well, this guy is smart, so he can get a good job, and he can take care of me, and he can pay all my bills, and he can do, fulfill that man role just because they see him as smart. And he might be smart, but if he's not already doing those things, that's not who he is.
Right. So let me ask, because of time, why do you have a boyfriend in your house like that, knowing you resent him for his weakness?
Well, I really didn't realize that was what I was doing until, it's some years into our relationship, and I really have just kind of been working on myself and stuff like that, and it was like I realized that that's what I've done with him and with other men, that I've been with in my life.
Yeah.
So, but now at this point, it's like, I can't, neither one of us can afford really to live on our own.
So he can't even afford to live on his own?
Honey, no.
What, man? So have you gone and forgiven your mother for what she's done to you?
I have not.
Why not?
I have not. And I have the worst anger. My anger is terrible, but I love the calls that you've had today. This is my first time listening to your show, and the calls that you have had today really have spoken to me, and what you said to them have spoken to me, because I realize that it's not just me.
It's
I'm
all
not the
women.
only one that goes through this, and it's like the condition of humanity right now.
Yes. So you got to go and forgive your mother. I'm sorry for resenting you for what you've done to me. I realize you can't help yourself. Just as you can't help yourself, that anger is controlling you, and it was passed on to you from your mother when you became angry at her for what you were doing. Forget mother,
That's right.
I'm sorry for resenting you. And then don't ask for forgiveness and don't have any expectation from her. If she apologizes, fine. If she doesn't, fine. I'm sorry for resenting you, and God will forgive you. And forgive your father for not being able to protect you from your mother. He could not help himself. He didn't know how to deal with it. He loved you. It's just that he didn't know how to deal with the hell in your mother. And so forgive him. Do the silent prayer. And I'm telling you, Patty, your whole life would change and it would be perfect.
You know, when my daughter was born, I realized, because I've always had this hate and resentment for her, and when my daughter was born, it kind of slapped me in the face.
Yeah.
That parents are only really just two people that had sex.
Yes.
You know, and it doesn't make them know everything. It doesn't make them perfect. It doesn't make them be equipped to do anything but and so that really helps me remember that she didn't know what she was doing any more than I do.
Absolutely.
And so that's where I always draw myself back to that whenever I try to forgive her and try to.
Well, just say, hey, I'm wrong for hating you. I realize now you're crazy. You couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And God will forgive you, all right? Because of time, I got to run, but call me again. Go and forgive your mother. And forgiveness is to admit you were wrong for being angry. You couldn't help it. It's hatred, right? And God will forgive you, Patty, and he will change everything.
Well, thank you, Jesse, and keep doing what you're doing. We thank you for everything you do.
I will. Thank you so much, and call me again.
I will.
All right. Amazing. 77 Jesse. Larry's out of Indiana. Larry, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, man? How you doing?
All is well, Larry.
Nice, man. I want to say real quick before I ask you my question, buddy, we talked a long time ago twice about this girl I was with, and you told me you're going to ruin my life. You know, the whole shebang.
Hold that thought, Larry. Hold that thought.
Yeah.
Let me take a break. 888-77-JESSE. A quick break. Back in a moment. Let me go quickly back to Larry out of Indiana. Larry, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, that's what I was saying. So you basically told me I need to leave this girl alone because she's going to ruin my life, man. And I understood, but I couldn't see for myself. So I was like, I'm going to stay. You know, I'm going to see. You know, you never know. Jesse could be wrong, you know.
What? Nah.
But I found out last night. She had been cheating on me and whatnot, and it was so strange. Like, I was on her computer trying to log into my account. Like, I wasn't looking for nothing. I wasn't thinking of nothing. I didn't have no suspicions. Like, it just popped. Like, it literally just popped up. And I was like, dang, you know. But that's what you get for being soft and kind of. You know.
Yeah.
But Mark, I do have a question though. So last night she came over here, and she came over here to get her computer, but I had her computer with me. So I pulled it back up to my house, and this is after I found out she had cheated and did the whole thing and whatnot. I pulled back up to my house, and I walk up to my house, and she's inside my house. So I come inside, and I'm like, "What are you doing in my house? You need to get out. I'm gonna give you your Chrome. I'm gonna give you this computer, but you need to get out. Like, not emotional, not argumentative, like, you know."
Right.
And she said, "No, I'm not getting out until I get my computer." So instantly, I'm like, okay. So I told her, "You need to get out, and then I will get your computer." I told her that 3 times before I told myself, "Who does she think she is? She doesn't dictate this situation." So I kindly asked her to step out one more time. She didn't. So I pushed her out of my house. And it wasn't like pushed her emotionally or aggressively. You know, I've told people about it. And like, don't be emotional. You shouldn't. Like, it was not emotional. I truly felt like I needed to push her out of my house. So what do you think? Do you think it was wrong of me to push her out of my house? Because I had people, don't put your hands on women. And don't. But me, sometimes, personally, I believe sometimes women need to get disciplined. If it's a smack across the ass, if it's a smack across the face or anything like that, you know, sometimes they deserve it. But last night, I just pushed her out of my house. What do you think? You think there's anything wrong with that?
So did you give her computer?
I gave her the computer after I pushed her out of my house.
Why you just give her the computer and then say, okay, does she have a key to your house?
Yes.
And
now,
why?
I'm gonna get to that. Because
so why did you just give her the computer and said, okay, goodbye forever? Why do you do that? See, that's a good question. I was about to give it to her, but when she said, I don't know, maybe an ego feeling, because when she said,
no, I'm not getting out. I was like, who do you think you are? You don't dictate this situation.
Well, that was Satan telling you that. Satan said,
yeah.
who does she
That was
say
the thought.
she is? Right, you listen to the devil.
You're right.
I would have
The thought came
recommended
around.
that you give her the computer, said, okay, goodbye, and take your door key and move on with your life.
Right. Yeah, so you're right. I do understand that was the devil.
Yeah.
The devil talking. But
That's why you did it that way. Because you could have called the police and had her put out, because nowadays women can cry and lie on the man, and the police will put you in jail, right?
Right.
And so next time, if that, God forbid, if that should happen again, just give her a computer and tell her she got to go now. And if she doesn't, just call the police and tell them to come right away.
Right.
In order to protect yourself.
Do you think sometimes women deserve to be hit? Not like abusive, or I just
only when you're protecting yourself. You have a right to protect yourself from her violence.
Right.
So you have a right to protect herself, and she doesn't have a right to hit you otherwise, and you don't have a right to hit her otherwise. It's not right. It doesn't make sense. But if she's attacking you and you need to protect yourself, you have a right to protect yourself.
Yeah. It's so funny because I really waited. I really just told myself I really can't see, so really just wait to see if it's true or not. And it's I wouldn't say it's a shame. I'm not going to say it's a shame that everything happened the way I knew it was going to happen, but it's like a revelation. Like, I know what I know is true.
Well, now that she's gone, let her be gone, and you start only working on you. Don't look for anybody or anything. Do the silent prayer, forgive, and seek the kingdom of God, and you're going to be fine. Your life will be amazing, and it will happen on its own.
Yes, sir.
You will have perfect peace.
Yeah. All right, man.
So do the silent prayer. Why didn't you take the key away from her?
Oh, the key. So after I gave her the computer, I was about to lock my door and head out until I remember she had the key. So I went over and I asked her, could you give me the key could you give me the key to my house since you're about to leave? And she's like, no, you're not getting this key. I'm like, God. So I said, buddy, why don't you want to give me the key? She's like, what did she say? It was so stupid. I was like, why are you? She said, no, you don't need this key. I'm not gonna come back over. I'm like, all right, if you're not gonna come back over, just give me the key.
Right.
So she didn't give me the key. So I walked over to her car and I grabbed her house keys. I said, we can do a fair exchange. You give me my keys, I'll give you your keys. And she started going crazy. No, now you're about to give me my keys. And now I'm like, I probably was wrong for taking her keys. But I'm like, well, why won't you give me my keys? And I probably should have called the police, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Probably should have called the police, but I didn't. But why won't you give me the keys? And long story short, she made it a hard thing to do. And I ended up just giving her key, and she gave me my key and just left.
So I recommend never argue with the devil in your mind, and never argue with another human being as long as you walk this earth. There's never, ever, ever a reason to get angry, and there's never a reason to argue with anyone. And so you can live a nice, beautiful life. Stop arguing. I do recommend, do what you want, that you put a new lock on your door, because you can't trust her that she won't come and try to damage your house or you in some kind of way.
Yeah. I did that last night.
Oh, you changed the lock?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, good. And so now don't be angry at her, because it's not her fault that you allow her to come into your life and do this to you. And it's not your fault that she allowed this to happen. Don't be angry, but you work on you now and stop looking for anything.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Got you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. I wish you well.
You too, man.
All right. Amazing.